Hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome to an all signs reading for the lunar eclipse coming up on March 25th, and it's going to be in the sign of Libra. And today I'm joined with Laura, who is going to speak with you guys about each sign. And she's going to first go over all of the signs, and she's also going to talk about the cards of truth. And if you guys follow Western astrology, she uses Vedic techniques, but she is going to talk about it from each sign from the Western astrology aspect. And also she's going to cover the cards of truth. So stay tuned. We're going to go over the overall message of what's going to happen with this lunar eclipse. And then she's going to go into each sign. So, and we're going to start, instead of starting with Aries, we're going to start with Libra, but don't worry, I'm going to get to Aries. So stay tuned, all signs. I love you guys so much. And let's jump right in. All right, Laura, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Okay, so thank you for having me. And what I'm going to talk about is the general effects of this lunar eclipse. A lunar eclipse is basically a full moon with the nodes. That's what causes the eclipse. And I use the tropical zodiac. That is the zodiac most associated with Western astrology. They actually use the tropical zodiac in India as well. Some of them do. But that's what I use, the tropical zodiac. And I use Vedic techniques mostly, but I also use some Western and Hellenic techniques. Okay. So what I want to explain first is, what is a lunar eclipse? What does it symbolize? And what it is an eclipse is the moon, the nodes, Rahu and Ketu, or the moon's nodes, have the power to extinguish the lights. All right. So there can be a lot of confusion. You know, what you expected to be there is not there during a full moon, that the moon is eclipsed. And the eclipse, or a full moon, is the middle of a cycle. It's the culmination of a cycle. It's the summit of a cycle. So every new moon, every dark moon, you begin something new. Okay, you begin a cycle of something new in your life based on what house that new moon falls in and any planets with that new moon. And so then the moon starts to travel around until it becomes full, and then you kind of get your fulfillment. You reach the summit of what you've been working towards the last 2 weeks since the new moon. On eclipses, what happens is the fulfillment you get, or whatever you've been working towards, whatever your life has been, the direction it has been going based on what you started with that new moon, is not there. It's something completely unexpected, something fortuitous, something that you are very surprised about. Okay. And that is why eclipses had kind of a bad reputation, and they're not actually like that. Okay. Because you can have good eclipses that bring beneficial results, and you can have eclipses that are very challenging. And but the lunar eclipse is basically a full moon where the moon's not there. Right? It doesn't show up to give you what you thought you were going to get. You get something that you weren't expecting, basically. Okay. Now, having said that, so you see it in the context of the cycle, the moon cycle. And so on a new moon, the last new moon, or about 2 weeks ago, was in Pisces, and that new moon was conjoined Neptune and Saturn. So there was a new beginning around dealing with problems, of getting rid of things, of dealing with not having enough, having lack. Okay, Saturn rules lack. There was an idealization of how to get rid of things, of old ancient things, which is Saturn, and Neptune being thrown into the mix, that adds the idealization, longings, desires, trying to make something into the best it possibly can be, which is an aspect of Neptune, okay? Neptune wants to see the divine in something. And when you want to see the divine in Saturn, you want to see the divine in lowly things, okay? Things that are broken and don't work very well. Even, having lack, an asceticism, poverty, things like that. So now the moon has been traveling around 6 different signs, and now it comes to the fulfillment of that beginning, that new beginning. But it's being eclipsed. It's not there. So that means that you get something completely unexpected around what Saturn represents and what Neptune represents. You also get something completely unexpected around the sign of Libra and what Libra represents. And Libra is fairness, justice, business, diplomacy. It's also relationships, the give and take of relationships, sharing. Libra is the sign of relationships, basically. All relationships, but mainly romantic relationships. And relationships are about sharing. That's basically what they are. Compromise. Okay, that's why Libra has such a good reputation of being nice, right? It is the masculine sign of Venus. So it goes out and it relates to other people. So you'll be getting a result that is totally unexpected around your relationships. And they're going to have an element of Saturn to them that can be long-term, long-term relationships, something that you were unexpected in your LTR, long-term relationship, in your marriage, connecting with somebody else, people in general, long-term. Saturn is exalted in Libra, meaning Saturn does very well in the sign of Libra, because Saturn is patience, and having patience with other people is extremely beneficial, all right? And also, Libra is the sign of business. When Saturn is in Libra, we know exactly when, or things tend to happen at the right time, okay? Because Saturn also rules time. Everything happens just when we need it to happen, and we know when to wait on making a decision, because Libra rules making decisions, weighing what is most valuable and then picking the right one, okay? Making the most beneficial decision. And sometimes we have to wait for that. We have to be patient with it. So this is actually, I think, a pretty good eclipse for those indications, because it's carrying the theme of Saturn. It's carrying the theme of Saturn into Libra. All right, so you will have something unexpected, probably in a good way, happen within your business in deciding, how to compromise or make a deal. You'll also probably have something unexpected around, or this is like, generally speaking, this is for everyone now, in your long-term relationships, especially romantic relationships, in your spousal relationships. You compromise on something, or you come together on something that is, you meet halfway, that is very beneficial for your relationship that you weren't foreseeing. Okay. Now, another thing about this, this is another technique. Another thing about this full moon is that there's something called equal sign, equal house. All right. A sign is a house, basically. And from the moon, we take the moon as the most important planet because that's the planet being eclipsed. Okay. It's not there. So there's a lot of confusion around where the moon is. There can be some confusion in the beginning and especially around the time of the eclipse, and that includes a month before and a month after. But then it works itself out. And the reason that is you have to, there's quite a few planets in the 6th house from the moon. Okay, there's the sun, or no, not the sun, sorry. There's Mars, Venus, and Saturn in the 6th from the moon. And the 6th house from the moon means what we have to overcome, what we have to battle through to get what we need to get to feel fulfilled and to feel like we're getting our needs met. So you have Venus, Saturn, and Mars in that 6th house. Now, Saturn and Mars do very well, will give you the fight. You will fight for what you want. You will overcome your enemies. There's a battle. Okay, there's a lot of competition too, probably around, building your business, making a deal, making judgments and good decisions, and also around connecting with the right people. Okay, but you eventually do that. This is also on the world stage. Because now how this would manifest on the world stage is that there's negotiations going on. There's diplomacy between countries. There's trade, but there's some problems and battles around that. There's a lot of I don't want to say war. It's not like that, but there's attack. There's disagreements. Okay. And this is, you can see that happening right now if you are paying attention to what's going on. And there's also can be, there's the 6th house is debt, and Venus being there, Venus rules food. Okay. So there's, all of these high prices around going up with groceries, and that can very well be seen. But I think that this full moon after, or the eclipse, after it starts to wane and come back around to and finish its cycle, will find some remedy after a lot of battle, after a lot of disagreement around Venetian type things, which is, the groceries, the food situation, but also, diplomacy and those types of things between countries. Now that is on the world stage. And in general, for people's lives, it's kind of like a theme that is enveloping the earth, basically, all right? And it can be very confusing, and it can be a little scary, okay, because you're bringing that energy of Saturn that began with the new moon. But it will eventually work itself out, especially within the next month or so, okay? Because Saturn is that energy. The moon is bringing the energy of Saturn into Libra, and that is where Saturn is exalted. Also, it's bringing the energy of Neptune, and Neptune is the planet of trying to see the divine in something. All of these divine longings and yearnings for something higher. And Neptune is actually a very long-term planet. In that regard, it is also very much like Saturn. Those are the ways that Neptune and Saturn can be similar. In other things, they're totally dissimilar, but in long term, they're very similar. So this eclipse, this lunar eclipse, is showing something that is going to last for a very long time. It's giving a theme of something that lasts for, years. So, and Neptune will give the power for people to see the divinity in their life through being able to let go of things that are causing them problems, let go of bad habits, let go of fears and, psychological hangups, all represented by Saturn, that are no longer supporting what you want and who you want to be. All right. Saturn is about getting rid of what we are not. And so now as far as like the aspects to the moon, there's nothing really that close that's aspecting the moon. The moon's, it's going to be at 5 degrees of Libra. And there's nothing as close, giving more of a theme. So it's mainly what the moon was bringing from that new moon into this lunar eclipse. Again, it's going to be unexpected, something surprising, something fortuitous, but it will work itself out. Okay. So that's on the general, on the world stage, and it's a general indication for everyone. Okay. So I don't know if you want to jump in here, Jennifer, but I was going to talk about some of the Drekana or the Decans indications. So this is also some more symbolism.
Yeah, that's completely fine. Go for it.
Okay, great.
I'll keep monitoring the comments.
Okay. All right. So this lunar eclipse happens in the first decans of Libra. Now, decans are when signs are divided into 3 parts or 10 degrees each, and they have heavy symbolism to them. And the first 10 degrees of Libra, where this lunar eclipse occurs, is the symbolism is a business owner or a merchant. He owns a store and he's weighing his valuables and what he wants to sell, and he's thinking about customers coming in. It's very much Libra on steroids, pretty much, and it has to do with business. And so this lunar eclipse has a symbolism, again, of weighing what is most valuable, what is most important, making a good decision based on those things, but you're going to do it because something totally unexpected pops up. All right. And it not only has to do with business, it can also do with the relationships in your life. Again, Libra is the sign of relationships, and weighing what is most valuable, what you want to allow into your life based on what you feel is going to add value to your life, is that will come out of some completely unexpected, surprising event. All right. And that may be around, a Saturnian thing, some type of loss, some type of feeling of lack, or deciding you want to get rid of some bad habit, or doing a total house cleaning, like a spring cleaning, since we're coming up on spring, or we are in spring, basically 2 or 3 more days here. So, and that's another thing Saturn rules, is cleaning. So yeah, that's the Drekana symbolism, being able to compromise. Okay, especially when you're surprised by something and that you may fear, but there needs to be a compromise going forward. Okay, now let's see. Okay, so then I want to talk about the day. So the day this happens, the day of the lunar eclipse, there's 2 things, there's 2 cards that are pretty important. Now, so in the United States, in the North and South America, this day is ruled by, let's see, the 5. Okay, yeah. So I'm using cartomancy. This is called cartomancy. It's also called the Cards of Truth system. And it's based on playing cards, but it has a correlation with the tarot. So you have the day of this, it's going to be dark. It's going to be 3 a.m. in New York. So it's before sunrise. So the card associated with this is the Queen of Clubs. Okay. Now, the Queen of Clubs, all face cards incorporate 3 cards. The Queen incorporates 4, 5, and 6. That's why they're so powerful. But resonates most strongly, the Queen resonates most strongly with number 5. And number 5 is judgment. It corresponds to judgment, Jupiter. All right. Now, the Queen of Clubs is an extremely busy card. This is the busiest card in the deck. You're juggling everything. You're juggling all types of career choices. You're moving forward in your career. You're moving forward in your knowledge. That's another big symbolism of this lunar eclipse. And you'll be doing it again because of some unexpected, surprising event. All right. Then you have the card of judgment. All right. So in the tarot, the judgment card, that means you have to make a decision on something. You have to judge, and it's going to be something major, and usually because it pops out of nowhere. All right. And it's going to have an element, it's going to have an element of Saturn in it. All right. Some big responsibility, some loss or lack, maybe, and that you have noticed in a relationship you're having, or within some business deal you're doing, or any dealings you're doing with people that are in your life. All right. Some type of compromise you have to make. Okay, now for Europe and Asia, since this lunar eclipse will happen after the sunrise, it changes cards. You have the Jack of Clubs, all right? Jack of Clubs is extremely creative. It's one of the most creative cards in the deck. Okay, Jacks always create, and Jacks are fun. Jacks love to have fun, right? Jack is having fun and gaining knowledge, gaining new knowledge. It's always about something new, all right? Starting something new, usually within your career or business, but it can also be in what you want to learn, some skill you want to build. And Jacks resonate most strongly with the ace of clubs, because Jacks incorporate ace, 2, and 3, but resonates most strongly with the ace. And aces are always the beginning of something and the foundation of something. Clubs are career, knowledge, your social interactions and contacts. That card corresponds to the sun in the tarot. All right. The sun, of course, is, wow, beginning something new, connecting to that life force. Again, this is for Europe and most of Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. All right. And that's because the date line runs into the Pacific between Alaska and Russia. So basically it's North and South America is the Queen of Clubs, and then Europe, everybody else is the Jack and the sun. All right, so this lunar eclipse signifies something brand new in your life that comes from your inner inspiration, and something brand new in governments, authority, and leadership. Okay. All right. That's it for the general predictions. Did you want to say anything or add anything, or Jennifer?
I think we're ready to move on to, we can do a collective message. Let's just do a collective message, what the collective needs to know for this upcoming lunar eclipse. Let me do that now, and then we'll move into our all signs. And guys, we're going to be starting with Libra first, and then we're going to go from Libra. So how do you want to do that, Laura? Do you want to go from Libra, and then you want to just move on to Scorpio? Do you want to go that way with it, or do you want to go back, jump back to Aries?
I'll do Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius.
Okay, and then we'll jump back after Pisces. Okay. So for the collective, what do they need to be aware of when it comes to the lunar eclipse? What do they need to be aware of? How is this a lunar eclipse going to be affecting them? What do they need to be aware of? What don't they know that they need to know that could help them? Show me cards I need to see. Show me the cards I need to see. Okay, let's find out. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of bold moves that are going to be made during this lunar eclipse. Okay, so a lot of action oriented things are going to be happening here. But just keep following your heart, guys. Don't try to get too emotional about this situation because it's about staying grounded and practical in your planning, okay? Because we see that there's a Taurus, so you have to be careful about being overly emotional during this eclipse and understanding that it's about taking actions here, but getting ready for this change and not letting yourself getting too emotional and staying practical in your plans. Because if you guys have stuff going on, if you guys have been working on projects, if you guys have been moving forward that, you're going to see results now. Okay. For those of you guys who have been stagnant, who have been dealing with issues where you feel stuck, guess what? It's going to start moving now. Okay. That's the eclipse energy. The eclipse energy causes changes. It's like coming along and saying, oh man, this mountain's in the way. Shh, it's gone. It's done. So this is going to allow you guys to have movement now. Okay. Before there was stagnation, there was stuck energy in the collective, but now we're going to start moving. So the things that you've been doing, you're going to see results. So try to stay balanced, okay, spiritually, mentally. And again, it's talking about we need to know that this eclipse could cause us some issues when it comes to our emotions. You know, it's difficult. Change is difficult, but it's needed sometimes because we get in this stuck, stagnant place. So we have to be careful about our emotions. Yep. This is a good time for meditation, contemplation, especially with the moon. The moon is about our emotions, it's about going within. So this is a really good time to do that. All right, you ready to move on to our first sign, which is Libra. So I'll mute myself, and then once Laura's done her part, I'm going to talk about how this is going to affect your romantic love life and how it's going to affect your career and finance. Okay, Laura, you're
Okay.
on.
Okay, yeah. All right, so Libra. Libra rising are, you can read this from your sun or moon sign too as well if you would like to. So when you have, you're going to have this disappearing moon, this eclipsed moon in your first house or with your sun or your moon, however you want to read it. And this can cause a bit of a crisis in your self-image based on something that's happening in your career. Okay, because the moon will be ruling your 10th house and it will be eclipsed in your first house. So there's something unexpected that happens in your career that will affect your self-image a little bit because the moon is the self-image and the moon is getting our needs met. So you may feel like there's something in your career, you realize that you may not be getting your needs met. And this can be because of some extreme workload that you had this past 2 weeks based on the new moon. Then you have the sun, Mercury, and the north node of the moon in your 7th house. This is going to give you quite a bit of skill in dealing with your partner, dealing with relationships, dealing with other people in general and the public. If you're somebody who works with the public, you'll have exceptional skill in that. You may have to deal with some foreign influence in the public or something unexpected again in your love life, because Rahu or the north node of the moon, they're the same thing, okay? In the 7th house from Libra, usually gives things that are unexpected, maybe a little taboo, but also very exciting. Because you have the sun and Mercury there, sun and Mercury, the two of these combined give exceptional skill. It's actually a yoga or a planetary combination in Vedic astrology called Buddha Aditya Yoga. It gives you exceptional skill to deal with something. So that's really nice. And also for Libra, you want to pay attention to details. All right. this lunar eclipse because of all those planets in the 6th from this lunar eclipse. That means you're going to overcome your competitors, overcome enemies and jealous people. Be wary of those people. All right. You'll probably have a big workload, but you're excited to tackle it. You want to do it. This can make the women have a little jealousy around you because Venus being there. There can be a little bit of backbiting going on. Just be aware of that. Okay. But you overcome it. You have the planets on your side. You have good malefics in your 6th house from this lunar eclipse or from your rising. Okay. And then now for a Libra, as you work through, well, okay, so the 10th house and the 6th house are both houses of work and career. And you'll be plan on work, all right, for the next month or so, a lot of it. But also, and then you'll feel like you're growing your reputation. And then you'll be pleasantly surprised around the way you have influenced people in your career or some of your colleagues. Okay. Then another way this can manifest is that you can have something unexpected happen with your boss. Or they may need to take some time off, but something that you weren't expecting. Also with your partner, if you're in a relationship, you and your partner can be more involved in social circles. All right. You can do more social things. If you're not in a relationship, you may find that you become attracted to somebody in your social circle, in your social network. That includes social media. So yeah, that's kind of important for a Libra. That's because the sun, which rules Leo, using the whole sign house system, that's your 11th house, the 11th house energy of social circles, social networks, groups. If you're in any groups, you're going to be connecting a lot more with groups. You may find that you have an attraction to somebody in a group that you belong to, or vice versa, they have an attraction to you. Okay. And they will be very friendly. You can go out and enjoy recreation quite a bit. This lunar eclipse will bring that again in an unexpected manner because of having Mercury in that 7th house. Mercury is the planet of having fun. So enjoying recreation, pretty much. Now, the card for this is using cartomancy. Okay. The card for a Libra and for this lunar eclipse is a 7 of diamonds. So you see, it's kind of a neat card. It's really cool in their artwork. But yeah, so the 7 of diamonds. Now, this is an interesting card, a very exceptional card. 7 of diamonds for Libra. This is going to be for both Libra and Taurus because it's Venus ruled. But for Libra, it means that this card is actually the millionaire card, but it's also a card of some financial loss, but it's loss to show you what is most important and what really matters. And you take that one thing that you want to concentrate on, that one skill you want to build that is that you want to specialize in, and put all your energy into it. And that is what is going to give you the diamonds. Okay, that's what a 7 of diamonds means. It gets rid of everything that is extraneous. Your energy is you're losing energy into things that that don't matter and that are kind of seeping out of you. And it's time to focus your energies on something that you really want, especially that brings value into your life, because it's a diamond. All right. So you want to focus on one thing. And that one thing is going to bring you a lot of value, whether that is financial and material resources, or the resources of skills, or the resources of opportunities, especially from your group situations, social networks. Okay. The 11th house, which is the sun that rules, the sun rules your 11th house, goes to that 7th house. And in addition, in addition to this 7 of diamonds, that means you get opportunities from social situations. You're going to get opportunities from groups, but they have to be very one-pointed and focused. Okay, you can't be spreading yourself thin from this lunar eclipse. Yeah, so that's for the Libra. If you want to add anything, Jennifer.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm gonna I pulled some cards for you guys for love, and I pulled some cards for career and finance. Okay, so Libra, we're on the sign of Libra, and I want to thank you guys so much for liking, sharing, subscribing. What we're gonna do again, just to remind you guys, let's see in the comments, we're gonna do Libra, Scorpio, okay, then Sagittarius, then Pisces, then we're gonna go all the way back to Aries, and then we're gonna go back until we get to all the signs. We're gonna cover all the signs, no worries. Okay, so for love here, okay, it shows me that you guys are going to be dealing with a lot of things from the past. Okay, the Five of Cups is coming out, showing me that there's going to be somebody from the past or a lot of issues coming up from the past. So it's going to be about clearing that energy and overcoming regrets from the past and dealing with some kind of heartache or sadness, or it could be somebody around you, somebody that is dealing with this sadness about you, Libra, because this person seems like they feel really bad and they are really hurt with the Three of Swords energy. This also looks like it's going to bring in potentially someone new or something to do with an Aries, Sagittarius, Leo energy. It could be a younger fire sign. There also could be a lot of flirting. You could be exploring new aspects of romance here with the Page of Wands energy coming out. So it looks like you're going to overcome some heartache and sadness from before. Okay. But it also looks like with this page energy, you could be dealing with a younger fire sign. Doesn't have to be, or there could be a lot of people trying to flirt with you. Okay. With the Page of Wands energy. And as far as now we're going to career and finance for you guys. So it looks like you guys may have a new opportunity coming up, Ace of Wands energy, something you feel very passionate about, something you feel very creative here. It definitely looks like you're getting a lot of work done with the Eight of Pentacles energy, right? You're putting a lot of effort into your work and career. And it does look like there's going to be some major changes because you literally have the Tower card. Let's see what the Tower card's clarified by. There's going to be a massive shock and surprise for you guys when it comes to career, which is going to maybe propel you to looking into a new opportunity, a new potential offer coming in here. And I see that the reason why is because it could be because of a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy with the Queen of Pentacles energy. And because of this energy, it's going to put you in a state of like, all right, I need to figure something out. I need to look at my options with the Seven of Cups energy. And it definitely looks like it's going to propel you forward. It's going to give you the willpower to move forward. Looks like for a lot of you guys towards either a new position or a new opportunity may present itself here for your career and finance. Okay. But definitely there's going to be changes in the career front. And when it comes to romantic love life, it looks like you're resolving stuff from the past and looking into or moving on to new potential opportunities there. Okay, so it definitely seems like it's a lot of shakeups with your career and finance and with your romantic love life. There's going to be some major changes. All right, Laura, jump right in and we're going to move on to now we're out of Libra, so we're moving on to Scorpio.
Okay, yeah, great. Okay, Scorpio. So for a Scorpio rising, this or Scorpio sun, Scorpio moon, this lunar eclipse occurs in your 12th house. And the 12th house is the house of taking yourself out of society, of rest and relaxation, of dreams, of different states of consciousness, of meditation and prayer. If you're into those things, there's a strong connection to the different planes of existence. If you're someone that sees life in the forest that you can't usually see. You're going to be having quite surprises in those areas. You may have extremely prophetic dreams that come out of nowhere, dream about things, especially teachers from your past, all right? From spiritual paths you have may followed in the past. You may have a lot of prophetic dreams around those types of issues. Also, if you went to like a higher education, college, university, you may have some sudden intuitions about those times in your life. All right. Now, this can also indicate that there is a last wish granted around your spiritual life, the path you're following, the life's path, meaning what gives you purpose. All right. Because for Scorpio, the moon rules Cancer, your ninth house. And the ninth house is what gives your life meaning, what gives your life purpose. They say it's the house of religion because usually, in the past, religion is what gave people direction and gave them a purpose. But nowadays, more it can be religion, but it can also be spirituality, even if it is a very unusual path that isn't normal or traditional for your culture. And so this lunar eclipse in the 12th house, there will be some very subconscious insight and subconscious messages around that path that gives your life meaning, the path that you're following, that the ninth house is trying to connect to something higher than ourselves. Okay. And then it has to do with higher education. If you're someone who goes to university, if you're trying to get a master's or a PhD or something like that, there can be a last wish granted around that you weren't expecting at all. All right. The 12th house, believe it or not, is a house of the last wish granted so that you can incorporate that and then let that desire go. All right. That's a Vedic technique. It's that one last thing that we really want so that we can be satisfied and we can move on. We can let that desire go. So there's going to be something unexpected, a last wish satisfied around ninth house issues. Also, if you want to travel to a different country or within a different country, you want to learn about a different culture, that's also can be a last wish granted around those types of things. And also fortune, just basically overall fortune. It can be in anything, whatever you consider to be highly fortunate, because the ninth house rules all around fortune. And the reason it does, it's because it's a very lucky house. You have luck with those things in the ninth house. Now, that lunar eclipse in your 12th house will give you a last wish granted around something you consider to be very fortunate, but you weren't expecting. That was completely just a surprise to you. Okay. And more on the more challenging side, there can be something unexpected or an unexpected expense in regards to your spiritual path, in regards to your teachers or your higher education, or in traveling. Now, there can't be an unexpected expense to fortune, but there can be a last wish granted around that. Okay. And then there is something under the surface. There's something that is brewing deep within you that you know something, you have a strong intuition, but you can't really put your finger on the details. This will explode into your conscious self after this lunar eclipse. Okay, something you've had a premonition about, but it's very vague and it's extremely hidden. and it will come into light after this lunar eclipse, like the next 2 weeks. Okay. Now, as far as the love life, now there's a lot of focus on the 5th house because of Venus being in Pisces. Venus is exalted in Pisces on this lunar eclipse, and you'll get a fulfillment from your relationship. You're going to feel very romantic. However, there can be quite a bit of extreme passion involved, where some of your passionate energies may overflow and cause some problems because you have that Venus Mars Saturn conjunction in your 5th house of romance. And for a Scorpio, Venus rules your 7th house of your partner and your relationship and how you want to connect with somebody else. You're feeling very romantic. You want this to happen, but something, again, because of the lunar eclipse, something unexpected could happen. And you overcome those energies. You overcome some of those problems that may be popping up in your relationship and wanting to be romantic with your partner, wanting to do something creative with your partner. After, within this eclipse cycle that lasts a month after the lunar eclipse. All right. And it's all about something that has been building up, not something new that starts, but something that has been building up for a while. Okay. Now, there's also the health sector. There's a big focus on your physical health and on work too, because you have an activated 6th house. That Sun, the north node of the moon, and Mercury are in your 6th house, exactly opposite the lunar eclipse. Okay. And your 6th house is the house of health. You have Mercury and Venus, or Mercury and the Sun there. And that gives you skill in addressing any health issues and becoming healthier, understanding what it is you need to do to become healthier. Okay. And you can do something completely new because of the presence of the North Node. And it can be related to diet and purification because Mercury rules diet improvement and the Sun rules purification. The Sun also has to do with the immune system. Okay. Now, as far as work, because the 6th house is a house of work, and you have Sun and Mercury and the North Node there, you'll be very skillful in doing your work and paying attention to details and tackling any problems that come your way. You'll be skillful in dealing with toxic, demanding people, that they won't bother you at all. You'll understand what it is you need to do to overcome any aggressive people that are getting on your nerves or who may be jealous of you. Okay. So that's pretty important. Whenever you get the Sun and Mercury together with that North Node, you're going to have something new come up, but you deal with it very skillfully, especially if you are dealing with any legal problems, or you're in the profession, in a law profession. You don't have to be a lawyer, but any type of legal type of things, you deal with those things very skillfully and in a brand new way. All right. So that 6th house is related to health, overcoming problems, doing a lot of work. And by doing the work, you get the reward. All right. Now, for a Scorpio, the card, now this is cartomancy. This is playing cards. Okay. The card is a 3 of diamonds. And see, that's kind of cool, the little sharks. Here you can see it. Okay. So a 3 of diamonds is the card of apprenticeship. It's the card of learning a new skill, basically. This is a very highly skillful card. It's a big card of growth, especially in your skill set. A card of experimenting with things, of trial and error, trying things out, seeing what works for you. All right. It's a strong card of intuition. It's one of the cards of astrology, divination practices, and intuition. 3 of diamonds, 6 of diamonds, 9 of diamonds, all cards of strong intuition. And this is also the card of the witch woman, believe it or not. So, so that becomes very powerful in your life. And it is a culmination, a summit of those things that have been building for the past 2 weeks for a Scorpio. Okay. So yeah, that's it.
All right. Now it's my turn. Okay, for Scorpio. Now, it's interesting because Laura's right. Absolutely. There is going to be more romance coming in for you with the Knight of Cups energy. Also what I'm seeing also, guys, is I feel like you guys with the Emperor card coming out, I feel like you guys are in control. Like you're not going to deal with somebody who doesn't value your time, who is not going to you know, bring their worth to you. Like you're in control here. I feel like you guys are in control and there's a sense of power here. You're feeling like very strong, okay, romantically in a strong romantic position. And it's like at this point you're at this place where like if somebody doesn't show up in a certain way, you're not going to deal with them. Okay. And also, I feel like for some of you guys as well, I know it's a very specific message for some of you Scorpios, there also may be potential for a work romance, okay? Because I see the Knight of Cups, the Emperor, and the Three of Pentacles. For me, the Three of Pentacles can show, more than one person. Also, it can show that there could be a work-related romance. And also could, for some of you guys, I know it's another very specific message with the Emperor card coming out, could be a boss, authority figure, someone you're dealing with that could be, a boss from work, okay? With the Emperor card coming out. Because it's very interesting because I went further into your romantic love life with all that, and it shows a dating, romance, but it also shows that there is something going on beneath the surface there and something that's hidden about it. Okay, that's very interesting. And you're also very cautious about taking this risk here when it comes to your romantic love life. It's like you are kind of like a little bit standoffish. You got boundaries in place. And definitely there is a lot of emotions coming in, lots of love coming in here, but it does seem like either some of you guys have more than one choice, okay? And I also feel like you guys aren't going to put up with someone, at this point. I feel like you guys are moving towards not putting up with someone you don't feel shows up for you right. I feel like you're putting your foot down with that. You're just like, nope, if you're not going to show up for me like this is what I expect, then I'm not going to deal with you. Okay. That kind of energy I feel with the Emperor coming out, with the boundaries coming up, with you're kind of like a little bit like, okay, what's your motives kind of energy. Okay. So let's talk about your career and finance. So I got the Ace of Swords. It shows me that you guys are finally going to get some clarity around something that you have been wondering about, something that's been bothering you. You're finally going to get answers when it comes to that. And things when it comes to career and finance are actually going to go in your favor, okay, with the Judgment card energy. And it does look like you're going to move into a period where there's going to be this sense of, okay, I see the long term. I feel emotionally fulfilled about this with the 10 of Cups energy, because it definitely shows a lot of achievement here, abundance of achievement. And it does look like you're going to bring things together here. Okay. You're going to bring things together because you, Scorpio, have learned a lot and you're going to get the clarity to be able to make the wisest decisions for yourself. And it does look like for me, you have the key to your success and you know it. Okay. So I'll end with that, guys. And now we're going to move on to Sagittarius. And thank you guys for liking, sharing, subscribing. Thank you for hitting that like button for Laura to support Laura. Thank you guys so much. All right, now let's move on to Sagittarius.
Okay, yeah, all right, for a Sag. All right, Sagittarius, this lunar eclipse occurs in your 11th house, okay? This is the house of social networking, of groups, of gains from your career, of getting respect and recognition from your peers and colleagues. It's also the house of long-term desires, long-term goals, something you've been working towards for a very long time and you've sacrificed for. That is the 11th house. It's a general house of gain and very long-term gain, okay? It's also the house of salary. So this eclipsed moon means that there is some unexpected event that happens within those areas of your life, some unexpected event around something that happens in your social circle. Something unexpected or very surprising can happen if you are a person that works with social media quite a bit, or you use social media for a business. Something very unexpected can happen with that. It can indicate gains from social media, dealing with other people, and receiving money from selling directly from the public. That's because the 8th house, which is ruled by the moon for a Sagittarius, is gains from the public, okay? Or selling directly from the public and getting gains. It's also any payouts you have from investments. If you have stocks, bonds, any type of investment, the 8th house is a payout. And the 11th house is the house of gains. Now, because it's an eclipsed moon, that means that you can gain in unexpected ways. Okay. Then also the 8th house is what we're doing right now, astrology and divination practices. And if you are interested or studying those types of things, something very surprising comes your way, an unexpected gain comes your way from those subjects, from divination or astrology and things like, that are considered to be non-traditional, all right? Because that's what the 8th house rules, non-traditional things. This can cause some upsets in your peers and colleagues. The 8th house is massive, major changes. Okay. And then the moon being eclipsed in the 11th house can cause some major transformations around your peers and colleagues, and also in how you are honored and respected within your career. But it does show that there is some surprising gain from the career that you were not expecting. Okay. But there is a very strong focus on all of those 11th house issues. Now you can change your direction in something that you've been working towards, some type of long-term goal that you have been working towards. You can change your direction because of some unexpected event. Okay. That is how the 11th house works. It's just, it's something you've been putting a lot of time and energy into over a long period of time. And the 8th house will usually cause a transformation of that, an unexpected change. And on top of the fact that you have an eclipsed moon, which is something you weren't expecting too, okay? Then for a Sagittarius ascendant, for this lunar eclipse, you have Venus, Saturn, and Mars in your 4th house. This means you have a lot of passion, a lot of drive. You're really going for what you want in the realm of either changing something in your home, decorating your home, repairing your home. That's a big one too. Making home repairs, especially because something breaks, because it's old, because of Saturn being there. Okay. There's a lot of you really going for it. It can also be in the realm of vehicles, buying a new car, fixing up a new car, or even, it doesn't even have to be an automobile. It can be a boat, a bicycle, anything that gets you from point A to point B. All right. So the fourth house is vehicles, Venus is vehicles. So you will be concentrating on that. Something's coming to a culmination around real estate and vehicles. Now on the inner part of your life, the internal part, which is very fourth house. The fourth house has to do with our emotional security and our emotional happiness. And it's also wisdom from the past, understanding wisdom from the past and translating that into modern terms. So you can be very passionate about finding some answers about how to be more content and at peace with yourself from wisdom from the past, okay? From, metaphysical teachings or mystical adepts, anything like that. And you do have a certain desire to become healthier and mentally and emotionally healthier and build a strong emotional foundation. On another outward indication is the relationship with the mother or the mother herself. There can be some clashes with the mother, but also a lot of healing coming in because there is a resolution to what happened in the past. When you get Saturn and Mars together, Saturn and Mars for Sagittarius is in your fourth house. You can have, what you can do is you can fight for something. You may have a situation where you are doing something for your mother or making some effort on the part of your mother, or you're doing something to, you're taking advice from somebody else, especially your partner, in how to overcome some emotional issues. But it's not quite right for you. It's not the way that you want to go about doing that, or it's not the way you don't really want to do it, but you feel like you have to do it because it's coming from your mother. Okay. And that's what happens when you get Saturn and Mars together. You can fight for something that really isn't going to make that much difference in your life. So just be wary of that. Be wary that maybe somebody's trying to get you to do something or get you into a cause that really isn't your cause. And that's going to be around, fourth house issues, around your home, vehicles, your mother, things like that. Okay. Now, then you have, for a Sag, you have Sun, Mercury, and the North Node of the Moon in your fifth house of romance. So you will be very skillful at romance. Okay. And you'll be able to handle it very well. You'll also be very skillful in any creative projects or new things, a creative ambition that you want to pursue. Now is the time to pursue it because you will excel at it. You'll have a lot of opportunities in that area to be able to express your creative vision. And it's going to be in completely brand new ways. Okay. In ways that you weren't expecting at all. Because you have Rahu or the North Node moving through your fifth house until next January, and you're developing that part of your life. But with this eclipsed moon there, certain things are coming to a culmination in that area of your life. All right, in the realm of romance and pursuing your creative vision or your creative ambitions. But they are going to come in completely brand new ways. Okay. This can also have to do with the realm of children. If you have children, your children can be very skillful. Your relationship with them culminates in a way that is beneficial to you. Okay. Now, for Sagittarius ascendant, we have for the cards, this is cartomancy again, okay, from the cards of truth system. This is playing cards. We have the 7 of hearts. Okay, 7 of hearts. And a 7 of hearts is basically, 7s have to do with seeing limitations of something. All right. There's a limitation and I see it. So you don't have unrealistic expectations. There's a limitation to some of the relationships you have, and maybe your primary relationship. That can, because Venus, of course, is in the 4th house, that can have to do with your mother or a mother figure in your life. It can also do with just any relationships in general, or somebody that you are very close to may be feeling under the weather. All right. And of course, it's been something that's been building up for a while, a sickness, or just that you recognize, hey, you know, I see this person, they can only go so far. I accept some of their flaws, or I accept all of their flaws. That's the 7 of hearts. All right. Those flaws are accepted, and I actually can see the beauty in those flaws, and the beauty in some of the limitations that human love and human relationships give. Okay, so so an interesting time for a Sagittarius indeed. So yeah, that's it for my end.
Okay, well, Laura, I mean, I have to say, Sagittarius for love, I'm looking at it like, oh my goodness, they got a lot going on here. Oh my goodness,
Uh-huh.
look at this. They're going to be getting a lot of attention. 6 of Wands energy shows a lot of attention. And oh my goodness, I was just like, wow, they got the abundance card so many times and lots of opportunities, especially potential new passionate or renewed passion opportunities coming up. But I feel like that's going to delay some things because there's going to be someone who's going to show up from before. It looks like someone from before, someone you had left out in the cold or someone who left you out in the cold, they're showing up. They're going to check you out because, and I was looking to see what's the delay in your romantic love life, what's going on. There is somebody coming forward that really is, there's a strong temptation coming in because of some kind of unresolved situation from the past. Looks like you're going to get communication from this person, some kind of text message, letter, document. They want to resolve some kind of unfinished business with you, which could throw some delays into some of this opportunity that's coming in. You have an abundance of opportunities. You're getting a lot of attention, actually. You will be getting a lot of attention. So you're going to get noticed. Yes, people are noticing you. But I feel like there's going to be like a turn of events here coming in because of this person from before. Okay, so all right, let's move on to your career and finance here, Sagittarius. Yes, Laura's absolutely right. I see the blessing card. It's going to be the right time. Okay, things are going to go in your favor. There's going to be a blessing coming in, divine timing, and yeah, we see luck here so far, Sagittarius. You got a good reading, that's for sure. Some of you guys are going to have the ability to save with the 4 of Pentacles energy, or you're going to be able to hold on to some things that you felt like were issues for you. It definitely looks like you're going to get dealing with some kind of communication, some kind of letter, message, document. Some of you guys are going to get some kind of good news. But somewhere along the way here, you guys are going to feel a little bit stuck and stagnant. Like you have to make some kind of sacrifice here, possibly with maybe some of you guys maybe want some alone time or want to do a project on your own here. And something about this situation shows me that you're going to have to take a risk or a chance here. If I go further on this, what exactly is this hangman energy about, please? What exactly is this hangman energy about? Why does Sagittarius get stuck all of a sudden? What's that about? Okay. I feel like you guys are going to be a little bit cautious. You're going to want to see what happens with this situation. It's like you feel like there is going to be the timing is going to be right. You want to hold on to this, but then you're going to be like, well, I feel stuck in the middle of this situation and I'm not sure if I want to go forward here because it's something you feel has to be fixed first or resolved first here around this situation. And I do feel like you won't give up. You'll move forward here, but it seems like also in your romantic love life, it's got the 5 of Pentacles here. So It's very similar energy where something's gonna like hold you up. All right. Five of Pentacles talks about loss or someone who was left out in the cold or, somewhere around that. And then even with your career and finance, it's also the same kind of thing. It's like you got this momentum going on, you're getting all this attention. And with the romantic love life, it's like this person from before kind of shows up. And then with your career and finance, you have this blessing, the timing is right, but then you have to be strategic about how you move forward because then you feel like you kind of get stuck in the middle. So let's get you guys some advice considering all that. So, what's some advice for Sagittarius of how they could move forward and move past this energy that could catch them? Okay, what should they do? Show my cards I need to see. Show my cards I need to see. Okay, what should you do? They're saying keep moving, and know that you're going to move into a good cycle, that this is going to be a good change, that you're going to be amazed and surprised. You're going to discover some things, that there is a lot of potential here. And that, yes, it's the long road, but you'll get past this. This is like the light at the end of the tunnel kind of situation. You just have to take actions and don't be scared to take those actions, okay? Because there is going to be some things coming in here where you're going to feel a little bit held up, like, oh, I don't know if I should move forward. I need to resolve this. This person's coming forward. So, some turn of events that could kind of put some snags there, but just be aware that just keep moving forward. Don't be afraid to take those actions, okay? Because it shows me a state of fear or some kind of self doubt there. But you'll overcome this, okay? So, don't worry. All right, my beautiful darling. Now we're moving on to what we were on Sagittarius. Now we're going on to Capricorn. All right.
Okay, so yeah, for a Capricorn, this lunar eclipse is going to be pretty important because it happens in your 10th house of career, reputation, power, and influence. Anytime you have, well, the 10th house is an angle, so it's going to be a big part of your life. It's going to affect you quite strongly because the 10th house is an angular house, which is a foundation of life. Okay. Now, this means that now this can manifest as something really unexpected happens in your career, especially in your relationship with your boss, or your coworkers. Okay, within your career, your colleagues, and there can be there can be some friction at work. Basically, there really isn't anything else to say about that, except that there are some people that are being very competitive with you. You're going to have some minor issues with some of your coworkers. Okay. The whole reason is because not only is there a lunar eclipse in your 10th house, but the 10th house Lord, Venus, which rules Libra, goes to your 3rd house of coworkers. And there's Saturn and Mars there. So there can be a little bit of a battle going on in the career. However, because the moon is there now for a Capricorn, the moon rules Cancer, your 7th house. And your 7th house is not only your partner, the public, in business, but it's your popularity. All right. That's what the 7th house rules. It's how the public receives you, how other people receive you. And so when it goes to the 10th house, the moon goes there and you have a lunar eclipse there, it's going to, it usually will give you a boost of popularity that you weren't expecting, basically. Okay. A boost of popularity within your career. There can also be a certain amount of diplomacy, and you're going to be social. It's important to be social and get out there, and because the moon rules the social leadership. All right, interacting with other people. And then the 10th house is your leadership ability and your power and authority, basically your worldly influence. So when you have this lunar eclipse, you're going to be influential in a way that is more social and connecting with other people, not like giving orders and saying no, but actually saying yes to people and making connections. And you'll increase your popularity in a totally unexpected way. Okay. Now, this can also have your boss may disappear, or your boss has to do something and he or she is taken out of your work situation. You may have to do things on your own, or you notice that your boss has to leave for some reason. Also, this can, it is really good for popularity to have the moon pronounced an eclipse in the 10th house, and to be seen, have a reputation of somebody who's diplomatic, who wants to reach out and influence other people, and rules through kindness, or rules through making connections and being emotionally available. You start to develop more of a reputation for that you never thought you would. All right. Also, for your partner becomes even more important in your life. If you're not in a relationship, your relationships become, or, getting into a relationship or connecting with somebody in your life, it usually can be someone from the past, because the moon rules the past. The sign of Cancer rules the past. So, somebody from the past, and it can be somebody from your career life that you may have had a crush on, or had a crush on you, or you were involved with, comes back into your life and totally surprises you. So those are going to be the culmination. There's going to be a certain amount of fulfillment, surprising fulfillment, from those things that are career based, or based on your ability to show authority in a feminine way, a way where you're making connections in the work environment, and also in the way you influence people. Okay, all of that is very pronounced during this lunar eclipse, and will be for the next month afterwards. Also, in addition to that, you have a lot of planets in your third house, okay, especially the Lord of the eclipse. So the eclipse happens in Libra, and the ruler of Libra is Venus. So Venus goes to your third house with Saturn and Mars. Now, this shows that on a mundane level, you can have some issues with your neighbors. There can be some problems with your neighbors, but it all works out in your favor because of the competitive planets there. Mars is there, Saturn is there. They do well in the third house. They do well in those houses. It can also show some type of conflict with your siblings, with your brothers and sisters, or with one of those. That also will be resolved. All right. Especially between now and April 4th. This can cause some, if you have to travel, there can be a focus on traveling or commuting. You can change your commute in some way. There is, you have to change your commute because of, a road's closed, or there's an accident, or, they're doing work. So you may have to do that. Okay. You have to find alternative ways of traveling. And then this is also very much a house of self-promotion, marketing, initiative, and courage. So you are going to feel like, I'm going to go out and do it. This is me. I'm going to show myself to the world. I'm going to experiment with different ways of promoting myself or marketing something that I'm interested in. So there's a huge emphasis on this third house, which is also a house of minor competition, of being competitive, and just really having the power and force behind you to feel courageous. Mars is the planet of courage. The third house is the planet, or the house of courage. So whatever it is you're desiring, you want to do, you're going to go out and do it, and you're going to get fulfilled from it. It's going to be connected to your career in some way, with that popularity I was talking about. Okay. The third house is a house of getting our desires, basically fulfilling our desires. It's one of the desire houses. And Venus is a planet of desire. And this desire is very much around, your power and influence, your authority, your reputation, your career, how you want to build that, how you want to promote that. It's going to your third house, and that is giving you the gumption, the power, the courage to go for what you want. Okay. And then getting satisfied because you put a lot of energy into that area of your life. Now and then there's a lot of focus on your fourth house, where you have the sun, Mercury, and Rahu, or the North Node and the moon. The fourth house is inner contentment. And it also has to do with the building of your home wherever you live, all right? Real estate, land, basically your home. You have a lot of skill in the area of dealing with, if you have to have problems in the home, repairs in the home, decoration, and also it has to do with vehicles. Okay. So you can have a lot of skill in picking out the right vehicle if you're thinking about purchasing a new vehicle or redecorating your home, or even if you're interested in purchasing real estate or doing something, moving even. Okay. If a Capricorn, there can be moving going on because there's a big focus on travel in the fourth house, and that usually shows up as moving. That you'll be able to pick out the absolute right place for you that makes you feel good and where you want to live. Okay. Now, as far as the relationship life, that is front and center because the moon rules your seventh house. The moon is being eclipsed. That's what is the big deal right now. And that is going to be, like I mentioned, the moon is being eclipsed in the 10th house. So it becomes a big part of your life and everybody can see it. You may feel like that it's a little too public, but there are some ways that you want to go out and be seen with your partner. Or if you're not in a relationship, you're going for it, you want to be with someone and you want everyone to know it. And some of that may show up in ways that you're totally weren't expecting, or you can meet somebody in a crowd or a situation where you're in a public place and it comes upon you and it totally surprises you. All right. Now, interestingly, so for a Capricorn, your card, this is cardomancy. Okay. Your card is a 5 of spades. Okay. And this is interesting because they're little masks. But all right. So a 5 of spades, basically what it means is avoiding a bad situation or getting out of a bad situation, one that has been culminating or building up the last couple of weeks. So there's a situation that you may have been in that is you're dealing with other people and you're like, you know what? This isn't going the way I thought it would go. And I don't feel comfortable here. And you're going to get out of it. You're going to completely avoid it. And see, that's how you get something, you grow from getting away from something that is very negative or that isn't going to benefit you at all. You're able to avoid it. And that's very much a Capricorn type of thing because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. And Saturn right now is in Pisces, your third house, and third house is minor problems. Okay. And actually, Saturn does very well in the third house. And so does Mars. Malefic planets do well in the third house. You're able to figure out what it is you need to do to deal with some problems you may be having, and you get away from it. You deal with it in a way that is very beneficial to you. And usually it's by just getting rid of it. Okay, because that's what the 5 of spades shows. So yeah, that is an interesting time for a Capricorn, and I will take it over to you, Jennifer.
Hi, how are you doing, Capricorn? I want to thank you guys so much for liking, sharing, subscribing. All right, so as Laura said, actually, you guys are really going to be affected by work here. It looks like money and finance, and I see the Emperor, and I also see the Three of Pentacles energy coming in for you guys for career and finance. And it does look like it's going to cause you a little bit of stress here and anxiety and worry. Okay, but then all of a sudden, you guys, you get some kind of surprise. Mm-hmm. And also, some of you guys, because you're so focused on work, is because you have come out of some kind of relationship or there's been some isolation or separation, I see. But then there is someone who is going to surprise you. They're going to come out of the woodwork here, and they're going to take a risk on this connection, and the timing is going to align in your favor here. I see that the Wheel of Fortune is here. Someone is going to step up and make a power move towards you with the Emperor card energy. What? Oh my goodness, Capricorn. Okay. All right. So that's good. So it seems like at first you guys get really work focused because some of you guys are coming out of a connection. Okay. There's a sense of isolation, separation. You're just like, you know what? I'm going to do my own thing. I'm just going to focus on myself, that kind of energy. And you just really get caught up in work. And then the surprise happens. The surprise out of nowhere comes forward here, and things start to move, and it's a blessing there. It shows the luck is on your side. Yeah, the timing aligns for you guys. All right. So with career and finance, again, Laura is absolutely right. You are doing a lot of socializing. You're getting attention here. And it does show me that you are in a confident place. You guys, when it comes to career and finance, you guys are on it. You are feeling very confident here. And it does look like there is a sense of long-term money abundance here. You get to the point where you're like, okay, you know what? I need to really get some advice, or you're going to contemplate some things about moving forward. It does look like something that you have been dealing with that has been bothering you about your career and finance, something's going to be resolved around that. And I see that you guys, from a boss, possibly a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy, because kings for me are leaders, all right, bosses, somebody in charge, or you guys may take some leadership roles here if it's not the boss, and you will gain something of value or worth. There's going to be a positive turn of events, and this situation, that this information, this advice you're going to be getting, it shows me this personal issue that's going to be resolved is going to allow you to see the bigger picture for the long term. So you guys are going to be able to see things from a different perspective and the bigger picture around the situation. So that's really good. So confidence is definitely up there for you guys. Socializing here. It looks like this could be a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy giving you some kind of advice, some kind of information that helps you to resolve something within your career and finance situation, which allows you to see the bigger picture. Some of you guys could be receiving some kind of bonus, or just the information is just so beneficial to you guys. You feel like, wow, this is great. Now I can see the whole picture now, and it really increases your confidence. All right, so now we're going to move on. Now we're on Capricorn. Now we're going to move on to Aquarius. All right, I'm going to bring it back to you, Laura.
Okay, this is great. All right, Aquarius. So you have this lunar eclipse. This lunar eclipse, of course, is a culmination of the new moon that occurred 2 weeks prior, okay, which was in Pisces, your second house of family, finances, abundance, managing your responsibilities and family responsibilities, okay? It's mainly a house of finance that new moon occurred in. Now, the culmination of that happens in your ninth house of fortune. All right, so you have an eclipsed moon there. And like I was saying in the beginning of the video, eclipses always bring something unexpected. It doesn't mean that it's negative or challenging. It can be very good. And for an Aquarius, that actually is the case because it happens in Libra, which is your ninth house. And the ninth house is the luckiest house in the 12 houses, or of the 12 houses. And the ninth house has to do with luck and fortune. Okay. And then this can have you resolve some problem you had with someone. It can resolve some major issue because of that moon ruling your sixth house of enemies and competitors. You can also resolve some issue, have a lot of luck around work. All right. You can pay off your debt. You can resolve an issue around some debt you had. And it's usually in a very unexpected way. All right. The eclipse will bring something totally unexpected. Now, as far as like teachers, or if you are someone who attends a university or some type of higher education, there can be a small or minor problem with one of those people. There can be a minor problem with your teachers that you weren't foreseeing. All right. Because of that lunar eclipse. The lunar eclipse gives something that is hidden that we weren't expecting. And it can become some type of responsibility that you have to take care of. Or it can have to do with your finances because of the second house. Also, if you are a spiritual person or you follow some spiritual type of path, that can cause some conflict going on in that area of your life. The ninth house has to do with religion and spirituality, but it's also the house of giving something that gives your life meaning, a path you're following that that is purposeful. All right, it's something that you're committed to, that you're giving a lot of yourself to. There can be some issues around that. There can be some people within that path that don't have your best interests at heart. All right. That's because of that sixth lord, the moon. Okay. The moon rules Cancer, which is your sixth house, going to your ninth house of teachers, spirituality, spiritual path. And because the moon is eclipsed, you don't see it right away. All right. You may intuit it because the moon is intuition, believe it or not. And this lunar eclipse is with the south node of the moon, which is also intuition. It's also a very spiritual planet. So it's important to meditate, take some time to be alone, to, contemplate what your life's path is and how you're going to deal with any problems that may arise in that area of your life. But overall, you're going to be fortunate. In general, you'll have unexpected fortune from women, from music or musicians, and from your intuition. You will be very fortunate with your intuition in unexpected ways. So be prepared for that, okay? Because the moon's getting eclipsed, the moon's intuition, and the ninth house is fortune. So there is a big focus on your ninth house. Now, this can also be fortune with finances and money. That's what the new moon started a couple weeks ago, and now it's culminating in this eclipse. And so you can have a lot of luck in new financial opportunities, or financial opportunities that had come before, but you didn't really pay any attention to them, or benefiting from material resources. You can also figure out a new way how to manage your responsibilities, especially your family responsibilities, or how to manage your possessions. You get really lucky with doing that. Okay. Now, of course, there's quite a bit of energy for an Aquarius. There's quite a bit of energy in your second house right now. You have an exalted Venus there, Saturn, and Mars, and this is going to be during the lunar eclipse. Mars has not moved into Pisces yet, and will do so 3 days before the eclipse. So you'll have quite a bit of energy in that house, and that, of course, is your family responsibilities. Because you have Saturn and Mars there, that may make you fight for something, or fight for a cause where you think it will be financially beneficial to you, or you're trying to increase your resources, and but your heart's not really in it. You really don't want to do it. And there can be a battle going on, especially if you're in a relationship, around how you manage your responsibilities, how you're managing your finances. If you're in a relationship too, your partner can be a source of increasing your finances, increasing your resources, or your partner, there's something you have to take care of your partner. Okay. You there's just something that they need, and they become kind of a responsibility that you may have. All right. This is going to be for the next month onward. And it's a responsibility around them it's building for a while. Okay. And if you're not in a relationship, this can have to do with having opportunities come from your like any type of healing modalities, and also through vehicles. Believe it or not, you can increase your resources through vehicles, but you have a lot of passion and drive to increase your finances, and you're going to go for it, and you're going to get fulfilled. And those methods that you use to increase your finances and to basically benefit more materially, that will be very long term. Okay. And again, this is going to be in ways that are completely surprising to you. Then you have, for an Aquarius, you have a Sun Mercury conjunction in your third house. So this is a big skill-based indication. Okay. The third house is skills, and the Sun and Mercury together are building skills, or being skillful. It's also enjoying yourself, enjoying recreation, going out and having fun. All right. Mercury is the planet of having fun. And the third house is recreation, hobbies, getting really interested in something and learning something very well and being able to do it very well. Now, if you're an artistic person, you're going to really move forward in any art or performing art projects that you may have. You're really going to market them. You want to promote them. You can do really well in marketing yourself or your business or anything that you want to promote about yourself, about your life. This is the time to do it. You'll be very skillful in doing that. You're also encouraged to experiment with things. Okay. You don't need to, first you need to experiment with things before you commit to something long-term. Okay. And that is a big focus during this eclipse and a month after this eclipse. And it's been something that has been building for a while. It's not something new, but you still need to experiment with it to see if it's right for you. Okay. And you're building that. You need to gather all the facts, gather all the knowledge about something. And so this is also in the realm of dating. So if you're not in a relationship, dating will become very important. Dating is like experimentation. Okay. It's trial and error, and that's actually, Mercury is the planet of dating, not Venus. It's dating different people to see who is going to be right for you. And then, of course, the third house is dating because you're experimenting. You're using trial and error, and you'll be very skillful at doing that. Okay. Because your seventh lord, the sun, Leo, is your seventh house. And the sun goes to the third house with Mercury. So dating can be a very big deal for an Aquarius for this next month onward. All right. Now, in addition, so the card for an Aquarius is a 5 of spades. All right. This is also the card for Aquarius. It's a card for Capricorn and Aquarius because those are Saturn ruled signs. And this is the card for that. Okay. And a 5 of spades is about getting out of a situation that isn't beneficial. You have the ability to avoid situations. You can see them coming from a mile away. All right. And this can have to do with people in your life, especially like associates, coworkers, neighbors, teammates. They can try to involve you in something that is nefarious, and you decide, nope, this isn't for me. I'm getting out of this. And you can, and by getting rid of it, that is very beneficial to you. All right. You actually gain an opportunity from avoiding these situations. This is also a card of improving your health, making leaps and bounds in your physical health and in your psychological health. Okay. Spades have to do with the self, the material self or the physical self, but also the psychological, mental, emotional self. It has to do with how can I improve? Fives are cards of growth. Okay. Massive growth, leaps and bounds, not like little tiny baby steps, but huge leaps and bounds of growth. So this lunar eclipse signals a growth spurt in your mental and psychological happiness and contentment, and your physical health and physical vitality. So a good time for, definitely for an Aquarius. Oh, so I'll let you take it away, Jennifer.
Oh, let me tell you something. The cards are definitely confirming what you're saying with astrology. This is a really good matchup. Yeah,
Good.
Aquarius is going to be when it comes. And by the way, thank you guys so much for liking, sharing, subscribing. The cards show me you guys are going to be doing some juggling. You're going to be juggling some decisions. It shows me that you are going to decide on who you want to be with, and you're trying to make the wisest decision. And I'm seeing multiple energies showing up here. I'll just tell you the energies. We got an Aries, Sagittarius, Leo energy, a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy, multiple energies showing up. Here we got this Knight of Wands also as well here showing up. And it shows me that you guys are going to invest time and see what happens, and that you're looking very attractive with the Empress card energy, and that yes, you are very cautious here, and it looks like there's a lot of competition around your romantic love life. So a lot of people fighting for your attention, a lot of people are interested here, for sure. And it does show that there is one particular person or multiple people, because it looks like you're going to have to juggle a decision between two different people that are interested in being with you. This is the main person card for Gypsy. So yeah, that's a very interesting thing. And then we have the career and finance here for Aquarius. It shows me you're going to be dealing with some competition, okay? But you're going to be fighting for this, okay? You will get attention and recognition coming up here. That's how the lunar eclipse is going to be affecting you. And that an opportunity, you're going to be able to see the forest before the trees. It's going to present itself. Yes, there are a lot of people that are envious of you, possibly jealous of you and your attention. So you're going to do some things you did before, or you're going to have a realization or look into things you looked into before. But these big obstacles, these challenges, you are going to overcome them, or you already have. You're pretty much free from that. But now you're getting focused here. It does show me a good time here with the blessing card. Is things are going to go in your favor, and you're going to have a sense of feeling a strong accomplishment. Or some of you guys may even be doing some travel here with the World card energy coming out. It does show me that you'll be risk taking, because I see the Fool card energy here, and you are focused on your long-term goals and your happiness with the 10 of Cups energy. All right, my beautiful Aquariuses, I love you guys so much. Again, if you guys like it this way, you want me to continue this way, and also please support Laura by hitting that like button. Let me know in the comments below. All right, over to you, Laura. Let's go on to Pisces, and we're going to go back to Aries again, okay?
All right. Okay. So for Pisces, a lot of nice things going on, because so like I was saying in the beginning, the lunar eclipse is basically a full moon where the moon disappears. Okay. It's being eclipsed. And a full moon is always the culmination of something, the summit of something, the fulfillment that started 2 weeks prior with the new moon. And the new moon for a Pisces was in your ascendant or next to your sun or moon. So it's a new you. All right. 2 weeks ago, you were like, I want to be somebody new. Or you were just starting a brand new you. Something in you was starting over. Okay. And a new outlook, a new world outlook, a new life's path. The first house is the life's path. All right. And a new way of being healthy, of a new appearance, even. All right. So that was 2 weeks ago. Now the moon is full, but it's being eclipsed in your 8th house of Libra for Pisces. And the 8th house is, of course, astrology, divination practices, anything considered to be non-traditional. All right. And that's outside of the culture in the realm of spirituality. And it's also money from the public. Okay. So there's something unexpected that happens in that realm. And that is usually due to some creative ambition that you had. All right. Some creative project that you were following. That can also come from a romance. All right. Because for a Pisces, the moon rules your 5th house, and the 5th house is romance. All right. The relationship itself is the 7th house. But the whole give and take of romance, enjoying being creative with your partner, being in love, giving love, that is the 5th house. That is Cancer. So something exciting and a transformation happens in that area of your life that is completely unexpected and can result from some major transformation or major change in your life. All right. Now, this also can mean that you have a brand new or unexpected project around astrology or psychism or something that is considered to be non-traditional, or through a project where you sell directly to the public or you are gaining from the public. Okay. That's also the 8th house. The 8th house is gaining from the public, gaining from government loans or grants. If you want to go to higher education, if you want to participate in that, you can get a surprise from getting a loan from the government or getting some type of scholarship. Okay. Because the 5th house is higher education, like the 9th house. They both have that in common. Okay. Now, also, the 5th house is for a Pisces. The 5th house is ruled by the moon. The moon's being eclipsed, and the 5th house is spiritual practices, or I should say spiritual techniques that you do to reach different states of consciousness or to get closer to the source. These will be non-traditional, and something unexpected will happen in that realm. Also, this is the 8th house is the marital bond or the relationship bond. It's your ability to trust other people, and to bond with somebody else, you need to trust them, right? So the 8th house rules that. It rules trust. It rules being able to bond. It rules being able to see the value of other people. Okay. So that is, you have something you want to bond, you want to merge with your partner, or if you're not in a relationship, you're looking for that trust connection, that bonding connection. It's usually around romance because the moon rules the 5th house. You want to go into that mysterious side of life ruled by the 8th, especially in regards to romantic relationships. So you are surprised in that area of your life. Something unexpected happens. And this actually can be around a healing process, because believe it or not, Chiron is in the 7th is in Aries right now, which is in the 7th from this lunar eclipse. Okay. And Chiron has to do with healing, and it has to do with gaining a lot of information. It's the scribe, so to speak. That's another interpretation of Chiron. But it's also a very deep house. You know, if you are in any type of divination realm, or you're interested in astrology, you do astrology or tarot, or things like Reiki, you know, energy movement, pendulums, all of that within the realm of the 8th house, you get an unexpected gain or an unexpected luck with those things. Okay. And you can get unexpected inheritance, insurance payouts, money from the government. All right. Payouts from your investments. You'll be pleasantly surprised in that area. The reason it's a good thing is because that 5th house, the moon rules Cancer, and the 5th house is a house of luck. It's a house of dharma or purposefulness. Okay. Following our inner inspiration. Also, you can be really interested in mysteries, or there's a mystery that comes into your life and you unexpectedly solve it. All right. Now, for Pisces, of course, okay, you have a lot going on in your first house because you have, for this lunar eclipse, you have Mars, Venus, and Saturn all in your first house. And this is a big deal for Pisces because when planets transit your first house rules you. It's like a miniature horoscope all in one house, right? So you have, it's your outlook on life, your general attitude, your path in life. It's your appearance. It's your vitality. It's, you know, how you approach the world and your worldly outlook, worldly view. So when planets transit the first house, and right now you have 3 of them, that is a reset. That is a new cycle beginning with those planets and what they represent. So you have Venus going through your first. Venus is relationships and how you relate to other people. A lot of times you can begin a new relationship when Venus goes through your first, believe it or not. You begin a new relationship, you date, you find somebody you really like, and they come into your life. Okay. Then Mars and Saturn. Saturn has to do, it's a big career planet. Okay. Saturn and the sun are career planets. Saturn is the part of your career where you have to work. You have to focus on working. You have to understand what is most important. You have to forego distractions and frivolous, you know, things that are redundant, that don't matter, that are just wasting your time and energy, because Saturn rules time. So you become very conscious of wasting time and not doing it. All right. Especially in regards in what you want to do, what you want to be known for, how you want to exert your power and influence. So that's a very long transit. Okay. But it's really pronounced anytime you have an eclipse or a full moon eclipse. Then Mars is going through. Mars is how you exert your will, how you push yourself, your courage, how you strategize the way you want to live your life. And that's every 2 years. Okay. So Mars, that's the time it takes Mars to move through the zodiac, give or take. Okay. So Mars going through your ascendant is a reset in that area of your life, a reset of how you want to strategize, how you want to use your willpower to get what you want. And because Venus is there, Venus and Mars together, you go after what you want. Basically, that is a combination of doing that. Mars is also the planet of exercise, of martial arts and things like that. Ways of getting more efficient in your health and your bodily exertion. It's a big fitness planet, in other words, okay? And then you have the Sun-Mercury conjunction in your second house of finances, of increasing your financial and material resources, of understanding or trying to better manage your responsibilities and managing your finances more efficiently. You'll have a lot of skill in doing that because the Sun and Mercury together give high quality skill in something. Okay. And you're going to do it in brand new ways, and ways you've never done it before. All right. And it is very much connected to that 8th house of benefiting from other people's resources. That's the 8th house. Selling to the public, benefiting from being popular, because that's the 7th house as well, believe it or not. And then, okay, so for a Pisces, just want to bring it up here. Yeah, that's the 7 of hearts. Okay, so for a Pisces, your card for the next month or so is the 7 of hearts. 7 of hearts right here. I put it on my forehead because the camera's weird. That's just how if I put it out, you see it disappears. So here we go. Okay. So the 7 of hearts has to do with understanding, you understand that people have flaws, people are limited, and there's limits to human love. Basically, it's a great card. It is. It's not. There's nothing bad about it at all or negative about it. Because you can come to understand that there's limitations. People have limitations in how they express their affection. People have limitations in how they in just relating or compromising, okay, and sharing. And so you understand those limitations. You also understand your limitations. And by doing that, you understand your own boundaries. Okay, there's the Pisces will understand what their boundaries are and have a strong demarcation of what they're going to put up with and what they're not going to put up with. All right. This can also have to do with somebody that you care about. Hearts don't necessarily mean just the romantic relationship, but it's just anybody that you are connected to emotionally may have some health issues. All right. That's a big one with this card for a Pisces. So yeah, that's pretty interesting with the Jupiter ruled Pisces. That's the Jupiter card of judgment.
Yeah.
So
There
that's
is
it.
absolutely with Pisces romantic love life. By the way, thank you guys. Thank you, Pisces, for liking, sharing, subscribing, and thank you for supporting Laura. There is a lot going on with your romantic love life, Pisces. Okay. All right. You start out with like a lot of over analyzing, like, yeah, things are kind of going slow, but you're moving into a direction of some solidness here. It does look like a mother or an older sister is going to infringe upon your romantic love life because I see family coming up here as a issue, because it's like somebody starts to get like, my hands are tied, there's nothing I can do about it, I'm obligated to this situation. Okay, that kind of issue comes in. But then I see that actions are taking and good news is brought in. Also, there's multiple people involved with the romantic love life. I see a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. I see a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. Okay. And I also see that, yeah, there's these indecisions about this family situation that's going to come up. And it's like, it seems like somebody's going to try to defend their position when it comes to these indecisions. Like, it's like, I want to fight for this. I got the higher ground. I'm right about this. It's like people are coming at this situation. And it does look like, though, it's going to cause you a little bit of uncertainty coming into this with this lunar eclipse. At first, you're going to be like, I don't know, I don't know where I stand, and it does look like somebody is really overthinking, or there's somebody really, really strongly attached. Like there's a strong desire here for you, Pisces. And also there's going to be an offer, an opportunity presented to you for loyalty and devotion. So as I said, there's a lot going on here. It's like there's overanalyzing going on, but then you get this good news. And it looks like someone's try to infringe upon, actually it could be a family member, a friend. Okay, somebody is trying to infringe upon your romantic love life, and it's like somebody is like, I have to defend my position because it's causing some issues here, because this person really is desiring you, they really want you, you know, and there's this offer, this sense of opportunity here. But it will work out. We see that there's the joyful energy card, and definitely someone's like, no, I want to give all my attention to you, Pisces. It's okay, don't worry about it. All right, they're going to be loyal and devoted to you. So whatever issues is coming up, this person's going to be devoted to you. So don't worry. Okay, so let's move into your career and finance. So it looks to me like there is going to be a lot of things moving fast with the Knight of Swords energy and actions that are going to be taken. It looks like you're going to get new perspective, new understanding with the Page of Swords energy. And this is actually going to give you a sense of confidence here with the Strength card energy. Also, some of you Pisces may be doing some kind of traveling here with the World card energy for work and finance, or just feeling very accomplished here. And it looks like you will be able to, some of you guys are going to be able to save some money with the Four of Pentacles energy. And let's make sure the microphone is secure. um, and wow, this has to be live, right? So anyway,
Don't worry.
so your intuition is going to be on point when it comes to your career and finance. And it looks like there is going to be a commitment or an obligation that's going to be tested here. You have a lot of thoughts and plans that you're trying to accomplish soon. So, and also you may be looking at some kind of new opportunity, some kind of new potential here, because you may get some kind of communication letter, message, document. And this communication they're going to get about this new situation may leave you feeling like, all right, I'm feel a little bit stuck in the middle. I feel like I got to make some kind of sacrifice. Let's find out what that is about. Yep. Yeah, you're definitely seeing that there is some kind of potential offer, opportunity that's going to present itself, something long term, something very tangible. And you're going to have to make a decision about it. Justice card. Justice talks about just choice, just decision, even something legal there with the justice card coming out. Yeah, but I do feel like you guys will make the wisest decision because we got the King of Pentacles energy. So you'll step up, you'll use your wisdom from before. Because remember what I always tell you guys about kings. Kings have all the wisdom of the page, all the wisdom of the knight, and all the wisdom of the queen. So they know exactly what to do. They know what they're about. They know how to make decisions. So this king energy is coming along and saying, nope, I know what to do. I know this is the wisest decision for me. So you're going to step up and make that decision. It shows me that you're going to release something here. Okay. You're going to let go of something because you're realizing that there's something that is ahead for you guys that it's going to allow you to achieve your goal. But of course, when it comes to your commitments and your obligations, when it comes to your career and finance, there may be your commitments may be tested here. So just be aware of that. All right, now moving on now back to Aries. We're going to Aries and then Taurus. So I'll leave it to you, Laura. And thank you guys again for liking, sharing, and subscribing.
Okay, yeah, for Aries, this is pretty important, very important, because this lunar eclipse occurs in your 7th house of partnership, okay, of your partner, of relationships. And so this means that something unexpected that has been culminating, all right, something that happened in your subconscious or unconscious or even in your dreams 2 weeks ago with the new moon in Pisces, which started this cycle, was in your 12th house. And that is something you can't quite put your finger on. It's in your unconscious. You have a sense of something happening. And then it culminates in this lunar eclipse. And it's something that is completely unexpected. Okay. It is kind of a surprise. And this will have to do with your partner. All right. If you're in a relationship, if you're not in a relationship, it can be a surprise of someone who comes back from your past. This is a big one. All right. The moon rules the past, and the moon for an Aries rules the 4th house, which is the house of the past. So someone from your past may show up again in your 7th house, which is the house of partnerships. Okay. And it's completely out of the blue. It's it hits you and you are completely dumbfounded by it. Right. So that is something that this eclipse will show if you're not in a relationship. If you are in one, something unexpected happens with your partner, and it can happen from their past or from the past of the two of you, your collective past together. Okay. And or it can manifest also as something, something jointly you have to do with your home. If you are married or living together, there's something that comes up unexpectedly with the home, and that the two of you worked on together or were planning together, or it actually has to do with something that you had been working on together, okay? Or with a vehicle. It can also have to do with your mother or your mother-in-law shows up somehow, or something happens with them, and you have to deal with it in certain ways, okay? In very diplomatic ways, in ways that are social and are making an emotional connection, because it's the moon, all right? And but it is something that you kind of sensed in a way, okay? All of those things that I just mentioned, you sensed them, but couldn't quite put your finger on it. You may have dreamed about it, all right? Because you had that new moon for an Aries that happened in Pisces in your 12th house. And so yeah, that is it's a huge part of your life. It's going to make a pretty big impression, because these are angles. The 4th house, the 7th house are angles, and they are the foundation of our lives. So this lunar eclipse will be memorable for you. All right. And then in your 1st house, you have the sun, which is part of the eclipse, or making the shadow of the earth fall onto the moon. And you have Mercury and the planet, or the north node of the moon. Okay. And so this transit of the north node with the sun and Mercury, usually you are learning some new skill, and learning it in a way that gives you a certain amount of power and authority. All right. You're learning a new skill that will boost your career, that will boost your reputation, that will boost your standing with your boss too. It can also give you opportunities from your father, because the sun is the father. And but it also can give a lot of opportunities from the career in general, and from the government. Okay. If you're somebody that works on contract, you can get a new government contract. But it is something that you are not expecting. Another thing that this eclipsed moon in the 7th house can do is you can start a business or start something new from your home. And it can involve business transactions. All right. It can also have to do with new real estate opportunities, or renting out a room in your home. Because you do, for an Aries, you have 3 planets in your 12th house. And one of those planets is Mars, which is real estate. And the 12th house, connected to the 4th house and connected to the 7th house, gives a yoga for renting out a room in the home. So that is something that will definitely, or can happen, if you are moving in that direction. But since the moon is in the 7th house, and the moon rules the 4th house of Cancer for an Aries rising, your home becomes front and center. The 7th house is a secondary house of your home. The moon and the 4th house also rule water and septic, the water, if you have a pool or a hot tub, or water in the pipes. If you have a septic tank, that can become something important, or there can be a surprise with those things for this lunar eclipse, which lasts another month after March 25th. All right. Now, also too, okay, for an Aries, you have 3 planets in your 12th house. You have, during this lunar eclipse, you have Mars, Venus, and Saturn. Now, the 12th house has to do with sleep. And this can cause insomnia or a little insomnia. If you're not prone to insomnia, you can be more prone to it during this time for the next month. And also, this can cause some expenses around the home, around your partner, especially around your partner, because of Venus is the 7th lord and Venus rules the relationship. So it can cause some expenses. Or it can show up where your partner becomes ill or has something that takes them out or has them convalescing. Okay? Because the 12th house is a house of convalescence. It's basically the 12th house rules hospitals, or hospices, or just being laid up, and that can show up in the partner, being in bed or something. You have to take care of them. You have to spend time on them that you're not getting paid for. You're not getting something back from it. Okay. And it can also mean that you get a last wish fulfilled around your relationship. Because the 12th house, believe it or not, is a house of the last wish fulfilled. That's one of the first things they say in Vedic astrology. And it's because the 12th house is a house of letting go of things and basically cleaning the ego consciousness. Okay. And when you do that, it's because something prompts you to let go of an ego attachment in the 12th house. And that can actually be having a last wish satisfied. So it becomes part of you, it's integrated in you, and you can let it go. All right. You don't think about it anymore because it's been satisfied. So one last wish satisfied around your relationship. If you're not in a relationship, you can actually get into one, believe it or not, when Venus moves through the 12th house. And this can be something that you've wanted for a long time. Some people get married as Venus goes through the 12th house, or you can finally get that person you've been pursuing. Especially when you have Venus and Mars in the 12th house. Okay, Mars and Venus together make you go for what you want. But because the 12th house is not a house of yang energy or initiative, it's something that comes to you. Okay. And then you have Saturn in the 12th house, and that has to do with allowing things to come to their natural conclusions, allowing things to come to their natural ends. And that's going to be for another, couple of years. So that's a very long transit, a long-term transit. But this, for the next month or so, you can have your last, or some wish that you've wanted be fulfilled, so you can let it go. Okay. And the insomnia, it's also going to give you some very interesting dreams, and you're going to have some very strong intuitions about things. Okay. But again, that lunar eclipse in your 7th house has to do with some surprise. It can be around your business, your partner, your popularity. All right. The moon has to do with the public and popularity, and so does the 7th house. So now another thing for an Aries rising, okay, this is for cartomancy. This is a card, and these are playing cards. Cartomancy uses playing cards. And so so here we have the 3 of diamonds. That's your card for Aries. Okay. The 3 of diamonds. I'm putting it up here because of there you go. You can see it. And so the 3 of diamonds is what they call the witch woman card. It's a card, it's a strong card of intuition, of just naturally knowing things and being able to use that intuition and use certain energies of the earth and of nature to get what you want, basically. And then the Three of Diamonds is also a card of apprenticeship. It's a very skillful card, a card of learning something new and being an apprentice at it. It's also a card of growth, of a little bit of extra money, of extra jobs, okay, getting money from side jobs. So yeah, those are the indications for an Aries for this lunar eclipse. And I'll give it to you, Jennifer.
Yeah, you definitely hit upon a lot of the things I'm also picking up here.
Oh, good.
Wow. So let's talk about the first card I see, Aries. Okay. All right. We're going to talk about your romantic love life first. And again, Aries, thank you so much for liking, sharing, subscribing, and thank you for supporting Laura by hitting that like button. So definitely you're going to start out like, yeah, I'm looking good. Okay. There's a lot of people noticing me. Like you're very sexy, very attractive. And it looks like you're really enjoying the moment with the sun card energy coming out. It's like you're like, wow, this is really happy. It's really successful. And it does look like you get into this state of confusion with the Seven of Cups energy, right? You got options. Some of you guys just have a lot of options, but I do feel like the reason why you start to get into the state of confusion, let's just talk about it. There is some kind of secret here. We got the High Priestess card energy. And your intuition's telling you about something here. You're getting some kind of intuitive message, which, there's something, some unknown, some secrets. That's the High Priestess card energy. And it's something about this situation that could involve travel with the Six of Swords energy or overcoming some kind of obstacles or blockages. Because it looks like you are dealing with a relationship here. Okay. And there's something that happens in this relationship here when it comes to this commitment that you get really cautious about. You start to get into like this self-doubt about it. Okay. Because we have this, there is the Nine of Wands kind of energy for the gypsy. And then you see this can be an infringing party, or it can be something to do with your self-doubt about this commitment you're dealing with. Okay. Because there's a conversation that takes place and there's all this love going on here. But then like Laura said, this very interesting something about money and finance starts to come up here. And you're like, this person's like kind of narcissistic, self-absorbed. And it's like you start to get to this place where you're like, I don't know, I want to end this connection. And it's to do with stability and stableness. It's like you're like abruptly, you're like, I want to cut this person out. And you feel like you're kind of being used here, which causes you a lot of uncertainty. That's very interesting. So it starts out really happy, loving, like all this stuff going on. It's great. And then this relationship, something about this relationship kind of throws you off. So considering that the aspect of how this turns, I want to get you guys some advice. So give me a second here. That's some advice for Aries, how they can deal with their romantic love life here, what they can do. Show me the cards they need to see what do they need to know about this lunar eclipse coming up that they don't know that they need to know when it comes to their romantic love life that could help them to deal with what's to happen here with the situation. Show me cards they need to see. Show me the cards they need to see. All right, let's see here, Aries. All right, so just listen to your intuition, okay? So it looks like your intuition is going to be on point, and it's saying when it comes to communication, okay? You may get very emotional here, but just be cognizant of the fact that you can fix the situation. It can be resolved, okay? When this situation comes to light, all right? But so basically your advice is, Aries, when it comes to your romantic love life, that it's going to be resolved, but just be cognizant of how you're communicating moving forward with this individual when this situation comes to light, and just be cognizant of the communication, because you may get a little bit over emotional about it. Because remember, we're talking about the moon, right? Lunar eclipses have to do with emotions. It has to do with the intuition. So it's all that energy there. So just be cognizant of that. So at the end of this, though, it does show me that a positive turn of events will happen. Even though that may cause some issues there will be a positive turn of events. So there is a silver lining to this, okay? So, all right, so let's move into your career and finance. So, okay, so here we have it's like a win-win outcome when it comes to contracts or partnerships maybe even collaborations with someone here. Okay. It does look like you'll have to release some things in order to move forward here. And it does show me that you're wanting there to be balance when you deal with people here. And also, prosperity lies ahead. So it's definitely going to be a good period for you. There are some criticisms that may come in about work or effort here, I see. And it does look like you'll have to defend your position here with the Seven of Wands energy. But it does show me that you'll be able to invest in Seven of Pentacles for the Tarot is an investment card. So some of you guys may be working on investments, something may be happening with that, something that you've invested time with. Also, as Laura had said, yes, I see the Emperor card. The Emperor for the Tarot deals with government, it deals with bosses, okay? It deals with control, all right? Being your own boss, okay? So it looks like you guys are going to defend a position and give it time. And it looks like some kind of government situation, some kind of control, some kind of getting on schedule for some of you guys, really getting organized with the Emperor card energy. And it shows me that there could be some kind of contract for you guys because I see that the Hierophant card is here because Hierophant represents contracts or commitments. So some of you guys may get a contract or commitment here, and you're really going to be thinking about this deeply, doing some deep, heavy soul searching about this, okay, with the Hermit card energy. And it does look like you're going to play some politics here with the King of Swords energy because my King of Swords is like my politician card. So there's going to be a poignant truth that's going to be talked about, spoken about. You're going to have to be very logical. You're going to have to think with your head, right? And it looks like things will come together and you will be really happy about this situation. So for as far as career and finance goes, it looks really, really good. Okay. So on to you, Laura. And I want to thank you guys again for liking, sharing, subscribing. Now we're moving on to Taurus.
Yep. Okay. So now we're moving to Taurus, and this lunar eclipse falls in your sixth house of Libra. Taurus, of course, is ruled by Venus, and so is Libra. So the placement of Venus is going to be very important, which is in your 11th house. Now, the new moon that occurred 2 weeks ago in your 11th house of groups, social networks, peers and colleagues, salary, okay, long-term commitments to a goal. You started a new cycle with that, with the new moon that occurred 2 weeks ago, and now it's culminating in the lunar eclipse in your sixth house. So what this means is there's a surprise, there's something that is unexpected, unforeseen, that has to do with work to do, with certain problems that need to be overcome in the realm of your peers and colleagues, dealing with your peers and colleagues, dealing with social situations, maybe something going on in a social group online. All right. Also having to do with, how you pursue your long-term goals. The 11th house is a very long-term house where you make a lot of sacrifices to reach a certain goal or a certain position you want to be in. Okay. And that shows that this lunar eclipse in the sixth house shows that there's some work to be done. Okay. There's unexpected work to be done, or maybe there's a loan you need to take out, or there's some debt that you need to get into, but it's worthy debt. Okay. It's worthy. There can also be an unexpected enemy or competitor that gets in the way. And this can also be a coworker, a neighbor, a teammate, somebody who is an associate, somebody who is not necessarily your friend, but you associate with them. Okay. They can become jealous, or there can be some problems with these people. And because this lunar eclipse is with K2, or the south node of the moon, that's what causes the eclipse. That means you do overcome them. You do get through the problems. You're able to understand what it is you need to do to overcome any jealous people or people who are trying to get in your way of what you want. The 11th house, where that new moon began 2 weeks ago, is your long-term desires. It's a house of desire, and it's a house of what you ultimately want. All right. So there can be a battle going on with those people, but you overcome them. And it's a complete surprise to you. Okay. This can, I mentioned the associates, like neighbors, coworkers, teammates, but it can also be a sibling, believe it or not, a brother or sister. This can also show that one of these people, a brother, a sister, or an associate, has an unexpected illness. All right, the 6th house is the house of health and illnesses. You can also take out, maybe have a debt that you need to pay off to, or take out some or go into debt for some trip you want to take, or commute you want to make, or for a project that you want to promote. The 3rd house has a lot to do with promoting yourself, promoting projects. It also has to do with any type of art projects you may have, or performing arts. It's a big house of performing arts. And see, I'm saying the 3rd house because for a Taurus rising, the moon rules Cancer, your 3rd house, and it's being eclipsed in your 6th house. So there's a lot of work to do in those areas of life. If you are an artist, a performing artist, a musician, okay? And especially, if you're an actor or somebody like that who relies on the public, there can be some details you really need to pay attention to. You really have to get in there and pay attention to what's going on and do the work, and not, check out or kind of ignore that area of life. All right. It very much shows that you need to really pay attention to things and be hands-on in solving problems. So yeah, that's part of what we're talking about with Taurus. And then in addition to that, there's a lot going on in the 11th house of your groups, any groups you belong to, your social network, your peers and colleagues. Also, if your salary and the respect and recognition you get from your career, that's all in the realm of the 11th house. So you have Venus, Mars, and Saturn there. And so what this can do with the Mars and Saturn conjunction in your 11th house, this can, what this will do is you can fight for a cause that's being promoted by a group you belong to, or you can fight for a cause that is promoted by your peers at work, or within your social circles. Okay, you may feel some social pressure to do that. However, it's not going to make much of a difference in your life. All right. It's not, you may win this cause, or you may move forward in establishing the cause, but afterwards you're like, that was great. It's going to be something that isn't that important to you overall. So if you want to keep that in mind, if you're feeling pressure to do that from a group situation or from a social situation, the best thing to do is say, no, this isn't going to work for me, and get rid of it and ignore it. Okay. Then you have Venus in your 11th house with Mars. So there is a certain amount of ambition you have to move forward in your social life. You have a lot of ambition to get some respect and recognition from your colleagues. Okay. So you may feel like, oh, if I want to get to point B, I have to do such and such. I have to submit to their desires for me to fight for something that I don't really care about. But you would get to that position without doing their bidding anyway. I just want to point that out too. Okay. But there is a big focus on social mingling, communication, getting your sacrificing for your long-term desires and your long-term goals for a Taurus. All right. Now, and this is going to show up in your cartomancy card, which I'll get to in a minute. Then we have all right, so you have a Sun Mercury conjunction in your 12th house, and you have the north node of the moon moving through your 12th house with the Sun and Mercury. So look, this is going to make you very skillful in getting away from worldly concerns. If you want to take a vacation, you're going to be very skillful in finding the right way to relax and rejuvenate. All right. This can also give you your last wish around something with your boss, around a situation with your boss, something you had been hoping for, a last wish satisfied, so that you can let it go and move on, so you can release it from your consciousness. This can also have to do with a last wish around your a recreation or a hobby you wanted to learn, or a skill, a really important skill you wanted to develop, and you do it, and then you're able to let it go. It becomes integrated into your consciousness. It becomes a part of you, so you can let it go and move on. Okay, that's very much the 12th house. The 12th house is the last wish satisfied. All right. And not many people know that about the 12th house, but it is. That's in the Vedic system. And so we can get our last wish satisfied around certain planets, and when they're in the 12th house. Now you have the North Node in the 12th house. So you're trying to develop the 12th house, actually. All right. The North Node presents situations in your life where you need to develop those things. And the 12th house is about taking yourself out of the rat race, taking yourself out of the grind. So it is actually a seesaw going on between the 6th house and the 12th house for this lunar eclipse. And it's going to be very pronounced for the next month, because that lunar eclipse is really going to activate that 6th house and give you something unexpected that you have to pay attention to. But then also, in addition, after you've done the work, after you've, crossed all your T's and dotted all your I's and paid attention to the details, then you can relax. Then you can take a vacation. Then you can just forget all about it. All right. And some people play video games. Some people go lie on the beach. Some people go to the mountains. Whatever it is you like to do, it's time to relax. It's time to let go. It's time to not worry. All right. Worrying makes you accessible. Worrying drains you energetically. All right. So you need to let go of that worry. When the work needs to be done, it's time to work. When you're done, go relax and forget all about it. All right. So that's very much Taurus. Those are the indications for Taurus for this lunar eclipse. Now, okay,
Hi,
so your
Laura.
card.
Oh, so
Oh yeah, I was going to do their card. Okay, so your card is a 7 of diamonds. Okay. Now, sevens have to do, this is the same card for a Libra because it's ruled by Venus. This is the card. And 7 of diamonds is what they call, this is a specialization card. It's time to specialize in something. It's time to focus on one thing and forget about everything else, because everything else will be a loss. It will be a drain. You have to find that one thing that is producing for you, and it's producing value. All right. Diamonds are value, whether it's finances, whether it's possessions or skills. Skills are considered to be a resource. So it's something that gives you value. So with the 7 of diamonds, you want to focus on what's giving you value. Everything else that is not giving you value is a waste of time. Okay. The sevens correspond to Saturn. Saturn is the seventh planet, and Saturn rules time. And Saturn shows us what we want to spend our time on. All right. And Saturn happens to be in the 11th house of gain, which is a wealth house. All right. And so it's important to focus on what's most important and what is giving you value, not necessarily what inspires you. Okay. What inspires you may not be giving value right now. You can worry about that some other time. But right now, you want to focus on what's valuable and what's producing. Then when you focus on that one thing, you'll get the returns from it. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's the predictions for Taurus for this lunar eclipse. Take it to
Hello,
you,
my
Jennifer.
beautiful. No, thank you, Laura. I want to thank you guys again for liking, sharing, subscribing, and hitting that like button for Laura to support Laura. I really appreciate it. I did put her channel link in the comments. So if you guys are interested in also following her YouTube, I put it in I put it in the chat box, but I'll put it also in the comments below. So it looks like you start out, and we're going to talk about your romantic love life first, Taurus. It looks like you start out with like this kind of, you're working, you're doing stuff, and someone is watching you from afar because it looks like you are separated from someone, or you have been just focusing on yourself here. Some of you guys could have been coming out of a very long-term relationship, I feel like, because you're entering like a lot of sadness here, I see. And there's this separation here around this situation. But it does look like someone is going to make a power move towards you with the Emperor card energy to apologize. I see with the Judgment card energy. Okay. And I do feel like you guys will be going out and just enjoying yourself, having a good time as well. I see some celebration, some going out, just socializing there. And I feel like there is also, besides what's going on with that situation, what somebody is going to come in and apologize. It feels like that's from a situation from before. It does look like there is somebody that is interested, because I see that there is this new potential offer of love here with the Ace of Cups energy. Okay. And I see there's going to be some massive changes here. I do feel like you guys are not sure who you want to give your time to with the Six of Pentacles energy here, but I feel like there is something that's being brought into balance. I do feel like you guys are being presented with an opportunity offer. We see the key card energy, and there for you, it's still a lot of unknowns about what you want to do moving forward, because it does look like you're getting advice from somebody here. Okay, so it does look like something's solidifying, though. There is somebody going to be around you that's going to be like, there could be some potential there. And you know what? There's somebody that you're feeling like there could be a very deep love connection, but also there's somebody from before you could have been separated from, or been married to, or just in a long-term relationship from before, someone you would isolate or separate it from, that is going to try to reconcile or apologize to you. Okay, so let's move forward to your career and finance. As Laura said, with your career and finance, it's very interesting because I do see with the Three of Cups energy, a lot of socializing with the Three of Cups energy. And to the point where you guys almost feel like you're trapped in a situation, like you feel like your hands are tied there. And also you feel a little bit overworked or burdened here with the 10 of Wands energy. You do get some good news, though, coming in with the Page of Pentacles energy. And it looks like you will end a tough cycle when it comes to your situation, when it comes to your career and finance. Definitely, I see you're networking, you're connecting with people, because I see the dog card, which represents friendships, and definitely feels like you're pulling your weight. You're putting a lot of effort when it comes to your career and finance, but you do feel like, man, I'm doing what I love to do. So it's like you really love what you're doing. You're really enjoying it. And so I feel like, for as far as career and finance goes, lots of socializing, lots of networking, really putting the work or effort into it. At one point, you're going to feel a little bit overwhelmed, a little bit overworked. And it shows me that you will end that tough cycle. You'll get through it, though, with the 10 of Swords energy. Let me just get some advice, you guys, on what else you need to know here, Taurus. What else does Taurus need to know when it comes to this lunar eclipse coming up that they don't know that they need to know? March 25th. Show my cards I need to see. Show me the cards I need to see. Okay, so don't let things from before hold you back, because the timing is right for you. So this is going to be a good time for you. And it's a good time for you guys to meditate and contemplate. And the worst you think is going to happen is not, okay? It's not. And don't be afraid to just be yourself, okay? Because that's also what it's showing you, that you need to have the confidence to be yourself, Taurus. That you need to just bring love into the situation and follow your heart. Because obviously you're going to be a little bit at a place of like, okay, I'm getting this attention. There's this blessing coming with your romantic love life. You know, you have this opportunity, this offer, and you have some unknowns there. You're getting advice about. You're trying to heal for some of you guys, because I see that the card itself talks about. This is like the Empress card for my deck, so it could be talking about you guys feeling like, all right, I want to focus on myself. I want to be grounded. You know, I'm just not sure where I want to go yet. And also with the career and finance, yes, you're going to be to the point where, yes, you're going to feel a little bit overwhelmed, but yes, you're moving towards your goals and you're going to move forward and move into something that you truly love, because there's a conversation that's going to take place here when it comes to your career and finance. And you're going to connect with somebody who's going to give you some profound knowledge or advice here when it comes to your career and finance. That's also what I feel like. I'm just saying what I feel like on that. Okay. So, and yes, and again, we have the 10 of Swords energy, which shows me that your tough cycle will be over when it comes to your career and finance. So don't worry. All right, Laura, I really need to get a better microphone set up here for live. But anyway, all right, Laura, I've turned the tables back to you for Gemini. Thank you again,
Oh,
guys.
yeah. Okay, great. Okay, so for a Gemini, this lunar eclipse occurs in your 5th house. And what this can do is it can bring some new, unexpected, unforeseen responsibility around your children. If you don't have children, there is a gain from romance, okay? An unexpected gain from your romantic life. And this can involve career or people at work, okay? The reason that is because this is a culmination. This is the fulfillment of a cycle that started 2 weeks ago in your 10th house of career and of your power and influence, your boss. That's the 10th house, okay? So this and the moon for a Gemini rules your 2nd house of Cancer. And that the 2nd house has to do with gains of something. It's a natural house of wealth and gains. It's also responsibility, managing responsibility. And it can do with increase of finances and material resources. Going to the 5th house, that means there's an unexpected gain with those things, because eclipses are not negative, not automatically negative. That's a misconception about eclipses. It just brings something that is unexpected or unforeseen. That's a surprise. If it's in good houses, and the 5th house is a good house, it's a trinal house, okay? It gives luck, it gives fortune, it gives creative ability. You can have a lot of creative ambition around how you manage your finances and how you want to increase your wealth and prosperity. All right. Also, it can give, okay, so the 5th house is the house of investments as well. You can gain, or you can figure out what it is you can gain from investments, or how you can increase your material prosperity through wise investments. But overall, this can be a really good eclipse for your love life, because of course the 5th house is a house of romance. It can be really good for your children. You can get opportunities for wealth from your romantic connection from your investments and even from your children, believe it or not. But it's also it's extremely creative. You can be inspired creatively from something that is totally unforeseen and unexpected. Now, the ruler of this eclipse is Venus, because the eclipse occurs in Libra. And Venus goes to the 12th or the 10th house of career. Okay, so this heavily involves your career. There's a lot going on in your career for a Gemini, all right? Because you have 3 planets there. You have Venus, Mars, and Saturn. Saturn does pretty good going through the 10th house. It's a good placement for Saturn. It usually makes you focus on what's really important in your career, how you want to move forward, and foregoing everything else. But the ruler of the eclipse, the ruler of the moon, or the eclipsed moon, goes to the 10th house. And that brings the energy of those investments, of the creative ambition, of the creative ability, the luck, the fortune to your 10th house. Venus is with Mars. That conjunction makes you go after what you want. All right. You're going to go for it in the realm of career. You're going to go for it in the realm of exerting your worldly influence, your power. All right. It's a place where you shine, of developing your reputation. So you're going to pursue that, and you will get fulfillment from it, because a Venus-Mars conjunction gives fulfillment after you go for it. Okay, after you pursue it, and pursue it with vigor and hunger and passion. Mars rules the fire element, which makes us hungry. And Mars is the planet we use to go for something. Now, if Mars is by himself, we usually don't get totally fulfilled in the way we think we will, because we're just we have so much passion for it. We just keep going for it and going for it and going for it, but there's not complete satiation with that. Venus is the planet of satiation. Venus rules the water element. Okay, Venus and the moon both rule water. All right. But in the scheme of the 5 astral elements, Venus rules the water element. So when Venus and Mars are together, you go for what you want and you get it. Okay, you get fulfilled. In addition to Saturn being there, where you're concentrating on what's most important, your career, and this lunar eclipse shows that you will be extremely creative in something that is unforeseen and unexpected in your career, and you will succeed. You will be successful. Okay. Now, and that should bring a fair amount of resources or financial opportunities and wealth, because of that rulership of the moon, of the 2nd house of wealth. Okay. Now, then you have a Sun, Mercury, Rahu, or North Node conjunction in the 11th house of getting recognition and respect from your peers and colleagues, of reaching a long-term goal, of being very skillful in the way you reach your goals, and in dealing with social situations, and in getting opportunities from social situations and group situations. And this includes social media. If you're on groups in social media, if you're a person who uses social media to promote your business or yourself, you're going to find quite a bit of opportunities in that area. All right. Mercury is a planet of opportunity, believe it or not. When Mercury is with the sun, that's something called Buddha Aditya Yoga, which gives you a lot of skill. That's going to add to the overall indications of this eclipsed moon. And those reverberations will be felt for the next month. And minorly after a month's time, up until the next eclipse, basically. So that's how it works. Yeah, so a really good time for there's a focus on trinal houses, which are houses of luck, houses of ease, and then a focus on the 10th house, which is an angle, which is action, house of foundation of your life's foundation. All right. Now, and then a house of gain, the 11th house, gaining respect, gaining, reaching some goal and satisfying some long-term desire and getting opportunities from your social network. So now for a Gemini, there's a card for this day that's going to mark for a Gemini, and this is cartomancy. This is playing cards, okay? So this is the Ace of Spades, all right, for a Gemini. Basically, the Ace of Spades is a brand new you, a total self-transformation, okay? In the cartomancy system, the Ace of Spades is the beginning of life. It's the beginning of new life, all right? It also means and usually it can mean that there is a new problem you have to solve. And to solve that problem, you basically transform. You transform into somebody else. It's going to have to do with the 11th house indications of groups, skills, socializing. This new opportunity you get from some social network you're in is basically can change your life. Okay, completely. So you really have to pay attention to that because that opportunity will come. So yeah, really exciting time for a Gemini. So yeah, I'll give it over to you now, Jennifer.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I second that, Laura. This time I decided I'm just going to hold the microphone. Okay. All right. So, all right. And again, thank you, Gemini, for liking, sharing, subscribing. And thank you to my members. I really appreciate all of your support. And thank you for supporting Laura. Gemini, oh my goodness, your love life. Wow. I think so far, Gemini, you get the award. I think also Sagittarius was pretty good, but Gemini, man, you are getting romance here with the Knight of Cups energy. You are connecting with a deep love here with the King of Cups energy. And some of you guys may be doing some kind of travel. You're dealing with somebody who's far away with the Six of Swords. Or if it's not the case for some of you guys, you're going to overcome some kind of obstacle or blockage in your romantic love life. Now, you know what else is very interesting? There's a divine connection here. Someone you are connecting with, someone you may even have a relationship. You're not in a relationship, it looks like there is some kind of relationship here, but it looks like it's divinely guided. Okay. And also, the Magician card is here, which represents manifestation, represents, your ideal partner. And it's next to the twin flame soulmate card for Tarot. But also, Gemini, there is some kind of potential opportunity or offer here. Could be a renewed potential offer of passion or new potential offer of passion. And again, literally, Gypsy is really double clarification of this deep love. And then if I go further here, it looks like, yes, there is a wish being fulfilled here, Gemini, proposal for some of you guys. And a truth that will be revealed about this proposal, right? This wish fulfillment, this love offer. And it's like, are you going to take a risk? Are you going to take a leap of faith? Wow, what a cliffhanger. Okay, Gemini, but romantic love life. Wow. Okay. I'm impressed, guys. All right. So let's move to your career and finance. Okay. So your career and finance starts out with this truth that's being spoken by somebody. Could be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. And this could be a part of your network circles here because I see friendship, socializing. Okay. Three of Cups, when it comes to career and finance, can deal with a lot of people, like, you networking. Okay. And through this networking, possibly with this Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy, it looks like it turns in your favor. Some kind of blessing comes in from it. Okay. It's just like, it's the right time. It's like a divine timing around this. Because it looks like you start out, Gemini, in this place of feeling very stuck with your career and finance. You're like in that stuck place. But the stuck part is going to be taken away. Because if you combine the anchor card with the lost card, you see stuck energy is taken away. And it looks like there is somebody who they're noticing what you're doing. They're noticing what you're doing. And there is a person here is like, hey, Gemini, come on my team. Hey, I need you over here. That kind of energy here. And you're about to be really happy, Gemini. Sun card energy is coming out. And you know what? This situation that's going to go down here with this network circle, with this person that could be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy, it looks like it can move you into the right direction. Because by the end of this, you may feel like this is destiny. This is where I was supposed to go. I'm on the right path now. Wow. Gemini, wow. Hands down. Thank you guys for checking this out. And this is for Gemini's love and Gemini's career and finance. And again, if you guys like it this way, you want me to continue this way, hit that like button. Let me know in the comments below. The next time we're moving on to is Cancer. I'm going to have my fingers crossed for you, Cancers. All right, let's move on. You take the tables again, Laura.
Yeah, Cancer is going to be very interesting. Eclipses will always affect Cancers because your chart ruler is the moon. Moon rolls over Cancer. And so this eclipse happens in your fourth house. So the moon's being eclipsed in the fourth house. There's something unexpected that happens with the home. Okay. Something unforeseen that happens with the home, inside the home. It can be having to do with something old breaking, basically, in the house, because that ruler of the home, the ruler of the eclipse is Venus, and Venus is with Saturn and Mars. Mars breaks things, and Saturn is old things. So old things are breaking in the home, and they probably have to do with water, so pipes, or anything that is containing water having to do with water. But usually that's how it manifests. That's on the mundane level. Then this eclipse can also affect the vehicles, maybe in a way. But it also renews you. All right. You completely change your attitude about something. All right. You completely change what makes you happy, what makes you feel comfortable and fulfilled. Something surprising, something unforeseen comes along. And this can have to do, especially with your spiritual path, any teachers you may have, your spiritual mentors, whoever that may be, whatever path you're following. There is an unexpected surge of contentment and peace connected to a teacher in some way, or some higher education you're doing, or your spiritual path. The reason is the fourth house, the internal meaning of the fourth house is your emotional security, your emotional foundation, contentment, and peace, and even happiness. I don't like to say happiness, the word happiness, because all these weird connotations with it. It just means peacefulness, contentment. Okay. But the ruler of this eclipse, of your fourth house, with all of those meanings, goes to the ninth house of Pisces. And the ninth house is fortune. The ninth house is your spiritual path, what is giving your life meaning. You're going to feel what gives your life meaning, what gives you purpose. Your inspiration is going to totally transform your attitude and your emotional state. All right. You can have a lot of luck with your mom. All right. Even though she may be going through difficult times because of that Saturn-Mars conjunction over Venus, the fourth lord. There can be something unexpected with her as well, because the moon rules the mother and it's being eclipsed, meaning what you were expecting from her didn't happen and something else happens. Okay. I was saying how the eclipses always show. So the new moon occurred in the ninth house for a Cancer rising 2 weeks ago, and that begins a new cycle. And that was in the ninth house of higher education, spiritual path, fortune, inspiration, teachers, things like that. So you started in a new cycle with those things, and then you're going along, you're making effort towards something as the moon goes through the zodiac, and then it becomes full. But on an eclipse, it's not full, it's eclipsed. So the fulfillment you were expecting, the outcome you were expecting doesn't happen. Something else happens that was unforeseen. All right. In the realm of the fourth house. So, but that doesn't mean it's negative. It doesn't mean it's challenging, and it won't be because of that ninth house energy. There may be some challenges to it. And that's going to show up on a mundane level, like I was saying, in the house, due to the conjunction of Saturn and Mars. So, excuse me. So this is kind of what you can expect. Now, the fourth house is also the past. And cancers are very connected to the past because Cancer is the sign of the past. And the fourth house is the house of the past. So you can have someone unexpected from your past show up. They may be connected to your teachers, a teacher from the past. It can be a relationship from the past, a lover from the past, because Venus is conjoined Saturn, which is the seventh house lord for a Cancer rising. Okay. And the seventh house is relationships and partnerships. All right. All of our relationships, a romance from the past, basically. Okay. That can definitely show up unexpectedly for a Cancer. And then, of course, there's all that energy in your ninth house. There's a big focus on the ninth house because that eclipse ruler goes to the ninth house of, higher education and your teachers, your mentors, traveling within foreign countries. That's also a ninth house issue. So if you're in a foreign country or want to go to a foreign country within the month's time, there may be some obstacles or unforeseen happenings during those travels in foreign countries. And they can cause some delays and setbacks and things like that because of Saturn being there. Okay. This can cause delays to educational pursuits, and there can be some clashes or problems with teachers in your spiritual path or some of the teachings and belief systems that you follow. You can have some issues with those things, especially if you're in a relationship. Your partner can have issues with your belief system. Your partner can have issues with your teachers or mentors. Overall, though, the ninth house is a house of inspiration, of following your true inspiration. So the new contentment that you feel with this eclipsed moon can give you a stronger desire to follow your inspirations and really go after what is inspiring to you, which is the key to happiness, actually. That is the most creativity, and following your true nature, which is following your inner inspiration, is the key to happiness, is the key to a productive, happy, content, fulfilling life. Now, in addition, you have a Sun-Mercury conjunction in your 10th house of career, power and influence, reputation. You also have the North Node there passing through the 10th house. That means the Cancer is trying to develop their career. Okay. And you will be very successful at developing your career this next month because a Sun-Mercury conjunction gives a lot of skill in something. It's called a Buddha Aditya Yoga. It gives very strong skill in developing your career, moving forward in your career, shining in your career, and also having a lot of power and influence, worldly power and influence. It can also make you a boss within your career or give you more responsibilities where you have authority. You increase your reputation, you develop your reputation, you develop your ability to handle more worldly responsibilities. Okay. If you are someone who wants to become famous for something, this is probably a time where that can happen. That can also trigger feelings of contentment, okay, of peace, so So those are pretty important. And it's a pretty good lunar eclipse for a Cancer. All right. Now, and it's because of those ninth house planets. The ninth house, of course, gives luck. And of course, the 10th house is always a great place to have the sun. The sun gets really strong in the 10th house. It'll also be exalted in the sign of Aries. So a really good career time for a Cancer. And this can also give luck with your love life. Again, I already mentioned that somebody from the past can show up for sure, definitely. Also, this shows up in the card about the career, the moving forward in the career in leaps and bounds, because the card, and this is cartomancy, so this is playing cards. The card is a 5 of clubs. Okay. 5 of clubs is a huge card of ambition, of moving forward. It's a huge card of growth, and clubs have to do with career, work, knowledge. It's also 5 of clubs happens to be a card of wealth, and all fives, no matter what suit, means increase in financial and material resources. Okay. It just means a huge growth spurt, and it can mean money coming from somewhere that you don't expect too. So expect that. It's a really good card for moving forward in your career, work, and in your knowledge base. Okay, so that's what I have for Cancer. You can take it over, Jennifer.
All right. Thank you, Laura. All right. Hello, Cancer. How are you guys doing? Thank you guys so much for liking, sharing, subscribing, and thank you to my members. All right. So let's talk about this. We're going to first start with your romantic love life, then we're going to go into career and finance. So it starts out with you guys being in this place of like independence, like spending time alone, self-focus going on here. Some of you guys may be really focused on work or building something here. It seems like you guys are getting control of your situation. As you were talking about, there is like a Sagittarian kind of control, wanting things to kind of go a certain way. You do get to the point where you're out of a crossroads here, but then something happens here which brings a sense of happiness with the sun card energy. And then you start moving in the right direction. And the reason is because you're reconnecting with some kind of friend here. It's like, wow, this person's like, you are the best decision for me, Cancer. And I feel bad about this situation. They come in with an apology and like regret about this. And they're looking for a relationship here because they're letting you know that they're really in love with you, actually, and that they want to be with you. And it seems like after that, it seems like the timing just it starts to move here. It seems like things start to go in your favor here with the blessings card. So some blessings are coming in from this lunar eclipse when it comes to your romantic love life. So it's going to be like almost like a 360 for you guys. It's going to be like, I don't need to be bothered with that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm going to focus on my stuff. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to work. I'm going to, focus on those things. Like, but then something happens. It looks like with the 3 of Pentacles energy, you could reconnect this with this person possibly through work or doing some kind of creative project. But you're basically starting out like feeling like I'm just going to be by myself. I'm going to focus on myself there with the 9 of Pentacles energy. So very interesting. Okay, so let's move to your career and finance now. All right, so let me just move this out of the way. Also, career and finance also looks really good too. So there is some kind of opportunity that presents itself with the Ace of Pentacles energy. Yeah, you feel like something about it just, it feels like there's some unknowns. However, it's like, all right, this is going to be an end of a tough cycle for me. So you're ending a tough cycle. You're coming out of a very difficult situation because this new potential opportunity or offer. So you're like, well, let me just give it some time and see how things play out here. You are going to get recognition. You're going to get recognized and noticed with the 6 of Wands energy. So that's also our fame card for Tarot. And it looks like also in particular, you're going to get noticed by this Aries, Sagittarius, Leo energy. Again, kings represent bosses or leaders here. So you're going to get very noticed from this person. And I see that there's some offer being presented here. Again, shows that this is going to be a massive change for you guys. We see the Tower card energy coming out. And yes, because you're getting this noticed energy, you're getting noticed by people, this is going to bring you exactly what you want, a wish fulfillment here. Okay. Things are kind of coming to balance with you guys. And it looks like, yep, again, balance card again coming out, re-clarifying that. And you're just going to go with it. You're going to trust your intuition, you're trusting the universe, and you're going to take that leap of faith. So looks pretty good for you guys, Cancer. Again, thank you guys so much for liking, sharing, subscribing, and thank you to my members. And now we're going to check out a Leo.
Yep, Leo rising or Leo sun, Leo moon. As I said before, the lunar eclipse is a culmination of what was begun on the former new moon. Okay, basically, a lunar eclipse is a full moon that's being eclipsed. So it is the middle of a cycle. It's the culmination, fulfillment of that cycle started when there was a new moon. Now, for a Leo, that new moon happened in Pisces, which is your 8th house. Okay. Now, the 8th house has to do with benefiting from other people's resources. Okay. It's if you sell to the public, it is money coming from the public. It's any money coming from the government or inheritances or insurance payouts, payouts from investments, anything like that. Okay. Now, so you began a new cycle with that 2 weeks ago, and now it's culminating. That moon is being eclipsed. So you usually get a unexpected or unforeseen outcome to the 8th house issues. And that's in the 3rd house of self-promotion, courage, initiative, and minor competitions, dealing with coworkers, associates, like teammates or neighbors, people in that area. Okay, so this moon being eclipsed gives something unexpected in regards to those people, in regards to your associates, in regards to your coworkers. And this can be around, what you began 2 weeks ago with your 8th house new moon, in regards to trying to benefit from other people's resources. All right. Also, this can cause something new and unexpected with your siblings, with your brothers and sisters. And or it can cause a loss or a problem with some neighbor. All right. That's kind of a big one. There can be some big fallout or some problem that you may have with a neighbor. And or a sibling or a coworker, but I'm more going towards the neighbor. All right. Now, being in the 3rd house, this eclipsed moon, the moon is a very social planet. The moon is the public. The moon also rules music. Now, the 3rd house is a house of art and performing art. So if you're a musician, it's a really good house for you to promote yourself and get out there and perform for people. Okay. And to start a new project around that. If you're an actor or another type of performing artist, this is a really good time to get out there and show your talents, because something unexpected will happen around that area. It's a culmination. And there's no need to be worried about it or afraid of what may happen, because it's going to show that it will eventually be promoted for you. Okay. Because why? Because your sun, the ruler of Leo, is in the 9th house of fortune and luck. Okay. And that's you, that rules you. So overall, after all, it may be very surprising outcomes, but they will be beneficial in the long run. And if you're not an artist or a performing artist, the 3rd house has to do with self-promotion, with taking initiative and going after what you want. The 3rd house is a big house of getting what you want after you've put energy into something. Okay. And that eclipsed moon there shows that you get what you want, but it's in a very unexpected way, and it's very surprising way. There is a lot of focus for Leo right now on changes, on minor changes and major changes, because of the eclipsed moon in the third house, and the third house is minor changes, and 3 planets in the 8th house, which is the house of major changes and from benefiting from other people's resources. It's also a house of, psychism, astrology, what we're doing right now, all type, divination practices, and going into the deeper, mysterious sides of life. All right. The 8th house is the house of mysteries, and also going deep within the psyche of figuring out, what our motivations are that come from a very deep place, and also what is holding us back, or how we self-sabotage. All right. So the ruler of this eclipse, which is Venus, because this eclipse happens in the sign of Libra, goes to the 8th house. So some of these unexpected happenings around your associates, around wanting to promote yourself, if you're an artist, getting out there and showing your work, they will have you go through a certain self-transformation. The 8th house is one of the houses of liberation or moksha. It's a water house, a house of emotion. Okay. So, and the 8th house, of course, is looking within and seeing what it is how we can fundamentally transform and move to the next level of happiness, because we are healing ourselves. It's a house of psychological healing. You have Venus and Mars there. Venus is a planet of healing. Believe it or not, Venus rules nurses. Venus rules healing. When it's in the 8th house, we heal those deep wounds. And by doing that, it gives us more courage, which is where the eclipse moon is. The house of courage is the 3rd house. Courage in pursuing what we want. And this also is going to show up quite strongly in your card that's coming up, but I'll get to that in a minute. I want to talk about the 9th house for a Leo. So, and that's really important because the sun goes to Aries, your 9th house in the whole sign house system. And the sun is there with Mercury and the north node of the moon, or also called Rahu. So you're developing this house where the north node is transiting, you're subconsciously and consciously trying to develop that area of your life during that 1.5-year transit. And the 9th house is a house of luck, grace, following our inspiration, finding something to be creative about, be getting luck with our creativity and our creative ambition. It's also the house of religion and spirituality. If you're into that, it's the house of teachers, mentors, people who show us the way, who really inspire us. So you have your sun there and Mercury there and the north node. So you're really putting a lot of energy in that house as well. And you may feel completely inspired. And with that eclipsed moon, that strong inspiration to follow who you naturally are gives you a lot of ambition and courage to get out there and promote yourself and use your willpower. All right. Now, as far as relationships, so for relationships, you've got Venus and you have your 7th lord in the 8th house. So if you're not in a relationship, you can find one through psychics and astrologers, or they can be a psychic or astrologer, because that's the 8th house. Okay. You can find your partner in a very untraditional or non-traditional way. That is the 8th house, very taboo way. Okay. If you are in a relationship, that this usually indicates there's some major change or transformation in your partner, or there's a major change in your relationship. It's possible they can go through some type of illness that is, that can be serious because you have Saturn there too, and Saturn rules illnesses. And for a Leo, the sixth house, which is the house of health, is Capricorn. And Saturn also rules the sixth. So you have the sixth, seventh together with Venus. So just be aware of that. All right. But it can show, a major transformation within the relationship. It can also show you go through a crisis, which makes you bond even stronger, because the eighth house is the house of crises, but it's also a house of bonding. It's where we trust and we bond. And you have an exalted Venus there. And Venus is the water element. Venus makes us stick to something. It helps us bond through, emotional care and love. And when you go through a crisis, that makes you bond even more strongly. All right. Now, for Leo, the card is a 10 of spades. All right. This shows very much a new cycle beginning of a brand new you. Now, a 10 is an ace on a higher level. All right. Tens, if you add 1 + 0, that's 1, that's the ace. Okay. But it's a new higher level of dealing with, or, of self-transformation. Aces have to do with the self. They have to do with the mental, emotional, and physical health. And that means you transform yourself up into a higher level of being. Okay. New transformation. And the eighth house is a house of transformation, big one. The third house is minor transformations. So a lot going on, a lot of spiritual growth for a Leo during this time. But there's also a massive amount of luck with it, of grace coming from that ninth house, Sun, Mercury conjunction with the north node of the moon. All right. So that is the predictions for a Leo for this lunar eclipse. I'll take it to you, Jennifer.
Hey, one of the people in the chat had a question for you. Okay. They wanted to know, what do you mean by the final wish?
Okay, so when you have a final wish for something in this 12th house, it's like a wish that you've always had. It's a wish you really want. And by having that wish satisfied, you're able to let it go. It doesn't continue on after it's been satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
That's the 12th house final wish.
Got you. So it's because it's the 12th house. That's why you're saying it's the final wish.
It's the 12th house.
So the cycle has completed.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
All right. I hope that answered your question, guys. All right. So my beautiful Leos, I want to thank you guys so much for liking, sharing, subscribing. Thank you for hitting that like button. Support Laura. I really, really appreciate it. Now let's talk about your romantic love life. It is very interesting, actually. And even your career and finance is quite interesting too. So let's talk about it. Okay. So we start out with your romantic love life with someone coming in with an apology. This could be an apology, or they just want to reconcile with you. Okay. And what are they apologizing about? This self-focus, this isolation, this separation. Okay. So they're wanting to bring some good news in. You could be dealing with 8 Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. You are very shocked by this. Actually, you're pretty shocked and surprised. It's a big surprise, and you're really happy about it. And this seems like there is a want to bring things together and to heal this connection. And this concern about this loss. This person's really concerned about losing you, wants to fix this, something about healing involved with this situation. There's something about this house because Four of Wands for the Tarot represents a house or a home or a solid foundation. So something about you getting attention at this house, this home, I see you're getting a lot of attention here. And it does look like there is if you're not already in a relationship, it looks like a relationship is forming. You're definitely connecting with somebody. And then also what's interesting too is that there's this conversation that's taking place here with someone. And I see that there is this kind of concerns that someone's not being straightforward with their feelings, like almost like they're holding back and speaking about their feelings. But it seems like there's an abundant mindset here. And also, obviously, the apology was because somebody was a little bit self-focused or this like narcissistic kind of energy here. But it does look like it's working out to a happy energy, a victory with the Six of Wands, and a relationship forming if there's not already a relationship. But it does look like there's an apology coming in, either because you guys have been isolated or separated from someone, or because they've been a bit self-focused. And yes, you're actually really shocked in a very happy way about this. And it definitely looks like someone's like, I don't want to lose out. I want to lose you. I want to fix this situation. Okay. That kind of energy. So let's talk about the career and finance. Looks to me like you guys have a lot of hidden desires, a lot of secret hidden desires going on, coming in. That's really interesting. Okay. So you have these hidden secret desires, but are going to produce some offers, opportunities, or you'll gain the key to your success here. It's like you guys are overcoming obstacles and blockages here because you're really staying open to the situation. Now we have the moon right there. You see how like you're getting noticed. And it looks like you're connecting with somebody who's going to help you, collaborating or connecting with somebody who's going to help you. But it looks like at first it's going to start out in a very sly or slick way. Like that's again secrets here, which is going to cause a state of confusion. It does look like you'll make the wisest decisions here. And it looks like at first you're a little bit defeated about this, but then you'll end this tough cycle with the Ten of Swords energy and make a decision. Now, this justice card could be just choice, just decision, or could be a legal decision, okay? Which will allow you to either do some kind of travel for work or overcome some kind of obstacle blockage. You're going to be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And 10 of Pentacles talks about lots of money on the line or long-term success here with the 10 of Pentacles energy. So you see how it's kind of like weird a little bit. It's like this weird stuff going on with these secret desires, secret temptation, which produces some kind of opportunities here. And it's like you're able to move past this state of confusion because you're able to see the bigger picture because someone is collaborating with you here around it. Let's just go a little further on this. What else does Leo need to know about their career and finance that they don't know that they need to know how they're being affected by this lunar eclipse? Show me the cards I need to see. Show me the cards I need to see. Okay. So I see that you're going to overcome obstacles and blockages and you're going to find your path, maybe in a very unique, unusual way. And that you're going to have some time to think about it, okay, with the solidarity card. But it definitely looks like you're being noticed by people. People are just like, there's going to be massive changes here. I see lots of good signs around the socializing or groups of people or the public. And also, feels like you're fully protected here, and something will be growing for you guys with the tree card energy coming out. And there is a sense of truth around this situation and major changes happening for you guys in your career and finance. Wow. Okay, Leo. All right, on to our on to our Virgos, which is our final sign. And thank you guys for liking, sharing, and subscribing. And thank you to all my members. I really appreciate everyone. Thank you guys. All right, Laura, I'm looking forward to Virgo's reading.
Okay, yeah, Virgo. Okay, sorry you had to be last this time, but these are some good news for a Virgo. All right, so you have this lunar eclipse is part of a cycle. It's a mid-cycle. It's the fulfillment, the summit, the culmination of what was begun 2 weeks ago in your 7th house of Pisces. Okay. And that started, the 7th house is relationships, romantic relationships. It's also business. Now, you started a new cycle 2 weeks ago around how you relate to people and your relationships, and a new way of connecting with others and connecting with your partner if you're in a relationship. Now, it's culminating in your second house of gains, of finances, of material resources, and of responsibilities, especially of family responsibilities. So you have this, and it's a surprise. It's unforeseen. So you have that full moon, but the full moon is eclipsed. It's not there. So what you were expecting doesn't happen, but something else completely new happens, or something that is very surprising happens. You get a gain from your relationship, or you get a gain from the way you pursue a relationship, the way you connect with other people. This can also have to do with business too. The seventh house rules business. So if you started a new way of doing business, this lunar eclipse indicates a gain that is unexpected. It indicates new financial and material resources. But with that also comes new responsibilities. The ruler of this eclipse, which is Venus, goes to the seventh house of relationships. So there is a double indication of second house issues and seventh house issues, which is gain and romantic relationships, your partner, or your business. It can also indicate gain from being popular or gaining in popularity. The seventh house is how the public receives you. All right. There can be some clashes with the partner for a Virgo because you have a Saturn-Mars conjunction in your seventh house. You also have an exalted Venus, so you make up pretty quickly. You make up right away. All right. There's opportunity for making love connections. You're very focused on, if you're not in a relationship, you can go for it in the realm of finding a partner and going after the person you want. There's a lot of passion there. All right. There's a lot of passion in your relationship if you are in one. Saturn there too. Now, this is really important for a Virgo. Saturn in the seventh house, transiting the seventh house, which it is doing, and that the ruler of this lunar eclipse going to the seventh house, which is a Venus, means you can very well find the person of your dreams in the next month. Okay. You can find the one if you're not already in a relationship. Saturn gives something very serious. And having that Venus-Mars conjunction in your seventh house makes you go for what you want in that area of life. So it's a huge focus on relationships and gaining from those relationships. You can even, if you're not in one, you can find or connect with somebody that is a close friend. Okay, because this lunar eclipse occurs in the second house, and the second house in the Vedic system is close friends. All right, friends that you consider to be family. Or you can meet the person that you've always wanted through a family member. Or through some type of opportunity you get to increase your financial and material resources. If now, aside from the relationship issue, if you are somebody who relies on the public, or somebody who needs public support, like a performing artist, an artist, it's a good time to get out there and pursue your popularity. All right. There will be a lot of opportunities from dealing with the public. The public will be a source of financial and material gain. Okay. Then you have, for Virgo, you have the moon rules your 11th house, also of gain. So you have two houses of gain involved here, the 11th house and the second house. Those indicate gain, everything you own, the second house, and the 11th house is gain from your career. So basically salary. It's very possible you can unexpectedly get a raise or get a promotion during this next month, because this lunar eclipse always gives something unexpected, something you weren't planning on manifesting. Okay. Now, if you own your own business, the 7th house is owning your own business or doing business. You can gain from that quite a bit, especially if you use social media, if you get into group situations, promoting yourself through groups, socializing. You can also really benefit from your peers and colleagues. All right. So there's a big focus on gain. There's a focus on relationships, focus on business, focus on getting more popular and growing your popularity. You have to be careful of not fighting other people's battles. All right. That is also a big one. Don't fight battles for your partner if you're in a relationship, or your husband or wife or whatever. Fight your own battles. Because a Mars-Saturn conjunction in your 7th house tends to make someone fight battles that aren't their battle. Fight for something that isn't going to make that much of a difference in their life. All right. So it's really important to ascertain what you want to fight for. Now, another thing is, okay, so you have a Sun-Mercury conjunction in your 8th house, and that is going to make you very skillful in benefiting from other people's resources. If you are married or in a relationship, that will make you very skillful in benefiting from your spouse's money and your spouse's resources. Okay. You can even help them increase their value. All right. And also, if you sell directly to the public, if you have your own business, you're going to be skillful and you'll gain from your business, from selling, and also contracts. If you're a contractor, you're going to benefit from those things as well. You can benefit from inheritances or insurance payouts, also any investments you may have. You're going to be skillful in those things. You'll see opportunities coming from those things, and they can even come from foreigners or foreign countries. If you are involved in astrology, psychism, what we're doing right now, cards, tarot, or anything that's considered non-traditional, that is also something that you will be very skillful in and that you will gain from. Okay. And the 8th house is a house of bonding and trusting other people. It's a house of psychology. That's where the sun is, the north node of the moon, and Mercury. So this can be a time where you really figure out your inner motivations for things and how you are able to heal from past traumas, or see how you self-sabotage because of those past traumas. And by doing that, you are able to open up other avenues of gaining from your resources and increasing your finances. It's really going to help your financial life. So yeah, that's a lot of focus on the wealth houses and gaining and business and or relationships. All right. Also, your 7th house Lord, Jupiter. All right. That happens to be in the 9th house of Taurus. And that means that there's a lot of luck coming from the partner, or if you're not in a relationship, you can have luck finding a partner. And like I said, that can be the person that you've always been waiting for. All right. Now, for the card for a Virgo rising is the Ace of Spades. All right. And Ace of Spades means a total transformation. It's the card of life, the beginning of life. This usually means a brand new you. All right. A brand new you. And that makes sense because your ascendant lord, Mercury, goes to the 8th house of self-transformation. And you can really transform yourself because of this eclipse through your family responsibilities, through your increasing your value, increasing your self-worth, all of the second house issues. Then you go through a complete self-transformation. You know your worth, you know your value, and you know what your values are, so you can establish boundaries. And that's what the Ace of Spades is. Basically, it's a card of new life. All right. And sometimes it can be a brand new you, a new life beginning because you're solving some problem. All right. You're solving a problem that's come up, and that totally transforms you. So, yeah, though, that is the prediction for a Virgo for this lunar eclipse. And I'll hand it over to you, Jennifer.
Hello, my beautiful Virgos. And I want to thank you guys again for liking, sharing, subscribing, and thank you to my members. Don't worry, I'm going to put the timestamps below. I see the comments. So, all right. Don't worry. After this uploads, I will have the timestamps out. Just give me some time. Okay, so let's talk about your romantic love life first, Virgo. So it looks like someone's coming in and they feel bad. They're missing you and they long for your embrace once again, Virgo. They want to fix and heal the situation with you. Okay. Definitely feel like this person, you may feel that this person and you are very connected, maybe even spiritually connected. It looks like there is a lot of star card energy, which talks about a lot of spiritual oriented kind of signs here for you guys. Also, by the way, guys, you may have a new person coming in here with the full card energy here. But also, I do feel like there's also another energy here where somebody wants to heal the connection with you. I see that temperance. If it's not somebody coming forward, but I do feel like someone's coming forward to heal a connection with you. And it's closer than you think because this represents the house and the home. So some of you guys look like you're moving here or going somewhere, moving, changing houses, homes, or this just is somebody that's close to home. Okay. Four of Wands energy is coming out. It shows me a very hopeful sign here, star card energy again, and a sigh of relief. And you guys literally are in shock here with your romantic love life. You're just like, I can't believe this. This is unbelievable. Because what's the next card? It has to do with love. So there is somebody that's going to just blow your mind when it comes to love here. Okay. And Virgo, it looks like you are getting a lot of attention. Okay. You're getting noticed here. Okay. With the peacock card coming out. All right. But I do see that there is somebody you're resolving some kind of issues with because I see the healing card and there is somebody coming out as somebody you see as a main person. So that's very interesting. So let's talk about your current finance, which is also equally pretty darn good here, Virgo. Now, you are dealing with a lot of self-doubt. Okay. You got fears coming out and you are regaining your confidence though. So this lunar eclipse is going to just level things out and make you deal with some of the issues around fear and self-doubt. And through this, you're going to regain your confidence here. And you have been lacking clarity, Virgo, and you're finally going to get some kind of answers here. But just be careful. You may get very emotional here, but it does look like you'll surrender. Eventually, you'll surrender to the divine. You're going to be like, all right, I trust it. I trust it. And because you're going to start to see the light, something's going to be revealed to you and it's going to make you feel like, all right, I'm close to achieving my goal. Because again, it's showing me you guys are getting attention, getting recognition, getting noticed. And this is going to make you have to make some kind of decision. So you got two choices ahead coming up here, Virgo. And there is an offer coming in that you really love. You're like, okay, this could be good. You're really deeply thinking about this. And we see that the Six of Swords could be here. Now, Six of Swords can be foreign, could be travel, you just overcoming obstacles or blockages. But it does look like there's abundance coming in for you guys. Long-term abundance. This represents inheritance, long-term investments, 10 Pentacles energy. Something's going to be really great for you money-wise here. All right, my beautiful Virgos. And since you guys are the final sign, I want to thank you guys so much for liking, sharing, subscribing. Thank you for supporting Laura. And I want to thank Laura for joining me. I really appreciate all of your help with this, Laura.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. I love you, Laura. And definitely follow Laura on her channel. I'm going to link her information
Yeah.
below. And I love you guys so much and have a great day or night wherever you are, whenever you see this message.
Yeah. Bye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.